All right, a pleasant good morning again, everyone. I'm Suzette Hudson with Caribbean Export, and we're very, very pleased to have you with us this morning. This morning, we will be continuing the work that we've been doing so far in terms of building capacity across the region in the area of e-commerce. We don't need to explain to you why we're doing this job, because you're here because of the need that we know has arisen in the Caribbean given the COVID situation. And many of you have been treading the path of e-commerce even before we had this challenge with COVID. So we want to make sure that you have all the tools you need in order to be able to continue business. All right, so this morning we will be doing our very exciting e-commerce training session. We have with us our two guest presenters. They're no longer guests; they're now really good family members. So we have with us Ala Hassan, who is from the e-commerce training academy, and we also have with us Gilbert Williams, who is the CEO of the e-commerce company Ethniv. And they'll be making presentations this morning that we believe will give you the tools you need to be able to start your business right now. You know, many of us have been trying to figure out what to do, and there's so much on the internet. Well, we've gone through all of that, and we're trying to simplify the process for you, trying to present to you all the tools right in your hand that you can do. Very simple procedures. We've tried to make this as simple as possible. I just wanted to give, for those of you who are new and who are only now joining us, that we started this journey last year, June, and we had a series of webinars where we talked about e-commerce, and we introduced the topic to those persons who didn't know, what e-commerce was all about. We had some sessions, and then we realized, given the significant interest, we had in total maybe about 1,500 persons joining us for the 4 training sessions that we had. So, or 4 webinars that we had. So we decided that we needed to do some intensive training. So we started that process as well. We employed both Ala and Gilbert. And Ala was responsible for doing some intensive training sessions, which we did on Saturdays. We did them Saturday morning, those persons who participated. We did them Saturday morning really early and ended mostly in the night, and everybody was still engaged and participated. I think those who took part found it very beneficial. And we train not only the firms, but we also provide training to the business support organizations. And then we discovered that, listen, we need to give you the resources you need to be able to do this work on your own. So, Ethniv, through Gilbert, prepared a portal for e-commerce, and we're hoping to launch that portal in early March. So that portal will have all the information you need in order to continue to roll out your e-commerce business. There you'll find some of the training sessions. You'll also find information on, you need to have agreements, returns policies. We have those stock documents there, information on who are the logistics companies that you can get in touch with, where, what are the payment gateways, all that information is there. So we'll hopefully be able to roll that out, and it will be on the CE Intelligence portal. So if you're not familiar with that portal, you can just Google it. It's the Caribbean Export Intelligence portal. Right now, it's not there, but it will be there by early March. One of the things we discovered while we were having these sessions is that, we need to continue this work because there are lots of firms who need a lot of support. So this is our last webinar that we'll be hosting in this way. Going forward, in late April, we will be rolling out another program. And that program, we got some funding from a donor to roll out, will allow us to do hands-on support. So there are firms who are able to take the information and run with it, but then there are other firms who actually need a lot of support, and our BSOs need support. So we want to be able to do a more hands-on approach. For today's session, we'll be looking at 3 strategic areas that we believe, based on information we've gathered and our interactions with you, are very important for you. And that's your website, your e-commerce site, logistics, and payment. Those are the 3 critical areas that everybody has talked about are challenging. And in the Caribbean, there are significant challenges related to payment and logistics. We're not telling you that we're going to solve those problems for you, but we're going to present to you some workarounds and some ways that you can still get your e-commerce business going despite the challenges that you may be facing in terms of website development because the costs are really high, or in terms of logistics because of those costs as well, or payment gateways because of their unavailability. So we're going to be talking about some practical steps that you can take to still be able to get your e-commerce business up and running. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to pass over to our first presenter, who's Ala, he's no stranger to the Caribbean now. We all know him and know him well. And he will also let you know about access to additional training courses that you can access through his academy free of cost, simply because you have participated in this event today. All right, thank you so much, Ala. I'm going to hand over to you. Just a couple rules of protocol, colleagues. Could you please remember to always mute your microphone? If you have questions, please put them in the chat. We will take the questions towards the end. This is not going to be a session where you're talked to alone. We want you to be able to talk to the presenters, but the only way we'll be able to do it is through the chat. So put your questions in the chat, and I will indicate to you when you can have your interaction with the trainers. Okay. All right, Ala.
Good morning. Let me know if you guys hear me well. Suzette, you hear me well? Everything's good?
I hear you fine.
Perfect. I just want to make sure this is so again, good morning, everyone. I would tell you it's really warm here in Montreal right now. It's minus 10 degrees Celsius, and with the wind, it's minus 16, 17. So if you have the sun on your side and the beautiful warm weather, you're one of the lucky ones. Nonetheless, I'm very happy once again to be taking part in this webinar and to work with Caribbean Export to help really share my knowledge when it comes to e-commerce. And for those who have attended previously, the workshops, the 8-hour workshop, like Suzette was saying, we had last year, I know that I'm going to be sharing a lot of information. Nonetheless, this is going to be recorded, and I believe Suzette will be sharing the recording afterwards when the session is over. So there's not going to be a lot of theory here. We're going to be, unlike other webinars I've done in the past, I share a lot of step-by-step procedures, processes, ideas, tips, tactics, strategies, and then you go out there and you do it on your own. Whereas today, I'm actually going to share my screen and I'm going to create an online store today in front of you. And I hope it goes well, but it's a big challenge when you do this live. You never know what could happen.
Hello? Good morning.
So let's get started
yes.
with this.
Yeah, okay.
I think there's people, we just have to mute them all the time. Yeah, Suzette, you just have to always go in and unmute people as they come in.
I will, yeah.
Perfect. So why attend this workshop? Well, there's a couple of reasons. And obviously, we know what's going on right now. E-commerce in general is saving businesses during COVID-19. Unexpectedly, everyone got hit with this issue globally across the world. So e-commerce came in. And when I say e-commerce, it could be anything related to the digital world, okay? So that's one thing that really you have to consider. Next, e-commerce allows you to build a global business. Whether you're thinking about selling products online locally or reaching out to the US or Canada or Europe, you name it, e-commerce makes it possible with the technologies that are available and all of the logistics that are available out there. Next, just make sure why this one is glitching a little bit. Perfect. Here's the one that really concerns me a lot, where a lot of consumers now start their shopping journey online. I mean, look at your own behavior. First thing you do when you need something, most of the time, you'll pick up the smartphone and you start searching online, whether it's on social media, whether it's on Google. A lot of our first touch points now are going towards the internet. So you really can't afford not being there. Mobile devices are now affordable. Every single person you know right now has a smartphone. They have a whole computer in their pocket. That wasn't the case back a couple of years ago. When you look at also the internet, this is an important one. It's great to have a device. Okay, it's great to do things online from home or that. But the fact that the internet is now accessible from anywhere at any time, from any device, this is the thing that has the biggest impact on why online shopping is becoming more and more embraced by everyone out there. So with all of these reasons, your business can no longer afford not being visible and also transactional online. I always talk about visibility first, because a lot of times, and looking at the Caribbean region right now, we get overwhelmed with the challenges. I can't do an online store because I don't know how. I don't have the funds. I don't have the budget. I don't have the payment methods. I don't have the banking. I don't have the know-how in terms of how to handle logistics or fulfillment. But the first thing your business cannot afford is not being visible. And being visible online is key for you. The next step is being transactional. With the way things are going around the world with digital currencies, more and more, we're no longer relying on cash. A lot of people are making their purchases online with digital payment methods, whether it's credit cards, PayPal, Amazon, you name it. And we're talking about in general around the world. Every region obviously has its own challenges nonetheless. But you as a business, whether you're just starting or you've been in business for a while, you can't simply afford not being on the internet. And eventually, you really have to think about being transactional online, because that's where we're all headed. Maybe in the Caribbean, there are some challenges right now. Nonetheless, it's going to be resolved with time. So challenges, again, do exist. What are they? Suzette did touch on some of them. The business structure. I don't have a business. I can't set it up in the US. I want to sell to the US, but I don't know where to go. Trademarks, taxes, all that stuff. Yes. And it's not only limited to the Caribbean region. Really, if you think about it, if I want to start a business also and sell to the US, in Canada, I have to do the same thing. There are challenges that I have to set up. Yes, it's a lot easier, but I still have to go through the steps to get myself set up. The financials, payments, banking, currencies, and also fulfillment, delivery, and returns. That's part of the game. But today, I want you to ignore all of this, because what I want to do today is there is a specific goal for this workshop, which is I want to show you how you can build your first online store without hiring a professional live today. But at the same time, my goal is not to show you step by step and click here or click this option, but to really inspire you, to motivate you, to make you feel that you're confident enough to do this on your own, because I'm going to do it right in front of you. You'll see how easy it is, how technologies have made it very easy for anyone to really just grab a computer and start setting it up yourself. So all of this is today really, I'm not going to be able to solve all your challenges, but again, I want to empower you and inspire you so that you take that first step of at least making sure that your business is visible online. Transactional, that's another topic. Let's make sure that you can launch that store today. So the agenda is very simple. I'm going to go over some of the essentials you need before building your store. I'm going to show you how to create and configure your online store. I'm going to show you how to design it. I'm going to show you how to add products and content to the website. I'm going to also prepare you for handling digital marketing. I'm not going to do digital marketing, but I'm going to highlight some of the things you need in order for you to be able to, for example, advertise on Google, advertise on Facebook, and so on. And finally, we'll just talk about what it takes to launch an online store. What are the small little steps that you have to take to do that? Now, if you guys stay towards the end of my presentation, you'll get access to a program that I've created a year ago in the beginning of COVID. It's called Build a Store in 21 Days. I guide you step by step every day in building the store. Obviously, not everyone can do it in 1 hour or 2 hours on a weekend. Nonetheless, you will have access to this program, and I'll give you the link towards the end. And in this program, I've also included all the tools you need to help you get the job done, from graphic design software to the shopping cart tools, you name it. It's all going to be included. And again, very, very easy to follow. And there are hundreds, if not almost 1,000 people in that program, and they're really loving it. And I'll be revamping it in the coming year as well. So let's get started. For those who don't know me, quick thing, my name is Ala Hassan. I'm the founder of eCommerce Training Academy. So I've been doing e-commerce since 2001. It's going to be almost 20 years. Sometimes I feel like a dinosaur in this industry. My expertise is e-commerce growth. People come to me, brands come to me to grow their business to 8-figure levels. I help them grow if they're selling 100,000, $1 million a month. I help them grow to $10+ million a year. That's my expertise. But nonetheless, everything I know, I usually teach through the academy. And that's it about me. You can learn more about on the website. It's all there for you. So let's start immediately with step number 1. So here we're going to cover the essentials that you need before creating your store. Now, this is critical because this will also determine your success. Nonetheless, if you're going through this journey just so that it's a learning process, obviously just know that these are the things you need, but you can still just open up a store and play around with it and just get familiar with the technology. So the first thing that you need is a plan. Most reasons why I see people never take that initial first step in finally launching their online store is because they never had a plan in place. And when I say a plan, I'm not talking about multi-page plan, tasks assigned to you, assigned to agencies, not really. Just a one-page plan is enough for you to say, you know what, I'm doing this, I'm being serious about it, and I'm gonna schedule it, I'm gonna set a date when I want to launch an online store. And when I launch my online store, I know what I'm aiming for in terms of sales, how many orders I would like to get. This is important because you will have to hold yourself accountable. And if something does not get scheduled, it will never get done. And that's one thing I notice. Everyone talks about e-commerce. Everyone gets excited about launching an online store. But a big percentage of you are just not doing anything about it. And I hope today we're going to change that. But so start with the plan. Number 2, prepare your business information. What I'm talking about here, prepare whether it's your business name, your address, your contact information. All of this information will be needed because when you create your store, the software is going to ask you for all that info. If you don't have a business yet, if your business is not fully registered, I mean, depending on the regions, again, just have your information for now so that you can complete the registration process. Okay. Next. Create a brand identity, meaning you need to come up with a website name. You need to register your domain name. You need to maybe come up with a slogan, logo, your colors, your fonts, all of that stuff. You can hire someone to do it for you, or I'm going to show you a tool that I'm going to use today to help you do this. It's called Canva. So if you use a tool like Canva, for example, it allows you to create all of this brand identity stuff, logos and you name it, graphics, banners, business cards, all that stuff. Canva.com is a free tool that you could use for that. So that's the third thing. Fourth, you got to gather a list of your products and the product categories you plan on selling online. It's great that we're going to open up the store, but I got to fill it up. You got to put your products in there. You got to put your images, videos, description, all of those, and all that information needs to be ready so that when you create your store, you'll be able to easily add them to it. And you'll see how I'm going to do it today. You got to plan your payment methods and shipping options. Now, obviously, the challenges are for some of you, you don't have the setup ready. Nonetheless, plan your payment methods, meaning if you are unable to accept credit cards, you're unable to accept PayPal, you're unable to accept the major payments methods that everyone uses on the internet because of either your region or your personal challenges, then at least plan for payment methods that are more manual, meaning maybe a wire transfer. Maybe someone can be a cash on delivery. It could be all these options that you can manually add to your online store. But you see now, there is no excuse as to why you can't launch your online store. Some people say, well, I can't accept payments. You know what? Just launch your products. And if someone wants to buy something, they'll see your catalog, they'll add the items to the cart. And then when they check out, they select wire transfer and you provide them with instructions on how to send you payment. Honestly, not everyone is going to open the store from day one and they're going to handle 100 orders a day. You might have an order 1 a week in the beginning, 2 a day, 1 a day. These manual payment methods will still work, but at least it's the first step that matters. You took your business online. So plan your payment methods and shipping options. Obviously, you have to look at your local logistics availability. You have to go to your local post office. You have to look at the local shipping methods, whether it's a DHL, and Gilbert will cover some of those. So again, you have to plan those ahead of time to see how much you should charge for delivery. But if somebody wants to buy something, you can just tell them, if you want to buy from us, our catalog is available. When it comes time to putting in your order, we'll just have to figure it out manually. But at least you're doing something about it. It's not automated, but at least you have some, there is some progress when it comes to your online business. And finally, you got to prepare your customer service. When you launch your online store, people are going to have questions. People are going to try to call you. People are going to email you. You got to make sure all that stuff is prepared so that you can conduct online business. So those are the 6 essentials that you have to think about before launching. So now let's go and do this. How do you build and configure your store? So first up, I'm gonna list them out, and I'm gonna share my screen now to start this. So first of all, we're gonna create a store on Shopify.com. This is my favorite shopping cart software. It is the one that is one of the most popular shopping carts out there. It's about $25 a month. You will need a credit card to use it. But again, if you can't afford $25, then you have to evaluate the whole e-commerce world, because that's the minimum. You got to spend some money to power your online store. So we're going to do that. Then I'm going to show you how we configure the general information of your store. I'm going to show you how you can configure your domain name. So if you have www.thebarbecueshop.com, we'll have to configure it. I'm going to show you where to go to configure some payment options. I'm going to show you if you plan on doing some taxes and collect them and so on, because some countries have that. I'll show you where to go to do that. And we'll also configure shipping options and some of the legal pages. Okay. So I'm going to do this right now, step by step. So I go to Shopify.com. Okay. And all you're going to do is you click on Start Free Trial. Let me just type in, just going to put an email address. And I'm going to call it eCommerce demo barbecue shop. I'm just going to call it that. So Shopify gives you 14 days trial to use this. So don't create the account right away, because you have 14 days. Watch me do this. When you're ready, start the process. Gather all the essentials and then do it. Or else after 14 days, what happens is you'll have to put in your credit card and you have to start paying. So that's why I say don't get too excited right now and open up an account. You have 14 days and you want to give yourself some time to prepare the store and not have to pay for it until it launches. So then I click on Create Store. Sit tight. We're creating your store. The store is created. It's going to ask me now for a bunch of information about my store. First of all, it's going to give me the survey. I'm just going to skip it. What are you selling? They want to learn more about you. You can fill it up, obviously. I'm just going to skip it for now. Next, you have to provide an address so that Shopify can pay you when you set up your payment methods, or at least so that you can open up the store and put in your credit card payment so that you can pay for the software. Here, if you don't have a business set up yet, you can put your personal information. Again, just understand that some of this information will be made available online to customers. So you have to make sure that all this information you're putting out there, you're okay with it being public in case customer service issues or when people receive your invoices. All of that information is going to be visible. So I'm going to fill it up, but I'm not going to do it on the screen. So I'm just going to put in my personal info. Give me a second. I'm just going to put a bogus address. I'm going to put my phone number. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here, just put a bogus address, fake number, all that stuff. And you can put in if it's a store is a registered business or not. If it is, then make sure you do that, or just put in your personal information and you enter my store. Notice how it was like literally 2 forms I filled out first. My store information, and then my personal information to get the account started. And I'm inside. Your store is technically, the whole software is ready. Now you just have to design it and configure things. So now that we created the store, we move on to configure the general information. So first things first, I go to settings and I click on general information. On this page, I make sure that my store name is good. So I'm gonna call this the barbecue. We're gonna continue the tradition, Suzette, of the barbecue sauce shop that we had last time. So the Tasty Barbecue Shop, your email address. When you send emails, what is your email address you want to do? You can change the industry. You can put your legal information right here about the store. If you have a physical store, you have a boutique in the area, you can also add it in here. You can also change your metrics, currencies, and all that stuff is all in here. Okay. I know somebody is writing on my screen. All right, so from there, that's the general information. You update this, you can change the currencies right here as well. So I'm gonna put, let's say US dollars, and I'm gonna click on save. That's it. Next, configure domain. In the beginning, you don't need to do this right away. You need to do this when you launch your store. If you click on online store here on the left-hand side, I'm just gonna increase the size just a little bit. Perfect. You can click on domains. You can literally buy a domain name through Shopify right here by just clicking on buy domain name. And it's about, I think, $15 to $20 a year, US. Or you can also transfer a domain name that you already have or connect one that you already have that may be registered with someone else. You may be having a domain name that's registered with GoDaddy. You can easily just connect it back here and it's gonna work for your online store. So this is the place where you configure all that stuff. You just follow the instructions and you connect it. That's how you make sure that, let's say, www.tastybarbecueshop.com is going to show up with the Shopify store. And this is where you configure all that stuff. Next, configure payment options. This is the exciting one. So going back to the store, you click on preferences. You click on settings. And right here in the bottom, then you click on payments. Notice how easy it is. And that's the whole point here. I'm showing you the interface so that you gain some confidence that, yeah, I could do this on my own. A lot of times you see people talking about e-commerce, overcomplicate things. Creating an online store is no longer the challenge. It's actually making money with it. That is the challenge. Selling the right products, making money on them, getting traffic, all of these things are the challenges. So when you click on payments, by default, you will have the option of setting up your Shopify payments. If you're properly set up with your business, then you can easily use this payment option. You also have the option of connecting PayPal for those who are eligible. And if you're able to accept PayPal, that's a really good thing because a lot of people in the US, in North America, rely on PayPal to make online purchases. They feel a lot safer because they don't have to put in they don't have to put in their credit card information on your website. With a click of a button, they can log into their PayPal, transfer money to your website, and they're done. So they feel secure if you offer this method. Now, some of you in the Caribbean region may not be able to use PayPal, may not be able to use Shopify payments. Depending on the banking systems and the payment providers, you may need to connect to a third-party provider. There is a list of processors and credit card processors that you may need, and they're all available in here, as well as alternative payments. This is the section that you will need to go to configure things outside of PayPal and Shopify. Now, for the purpose of this workshop, like I mentioned, there's no excuse why you cannot launch your online store as of today, because there's a way for you to add manual payments. So if I want to create bank deposits, wire transfers, money orders, cash on delivery, I can easily offer these options, put in the details here so that when someone chooses or selects this payment options, they have all the instructions they need to follow in order for them to send you the money. It is manual, but trust me, I've been doing this for 20 years. What happens is people think that I need to automate everything. I don't have time to key in the credit card information. I don't have time to check my bank statements for payments. In the beginning, there's a lot of manual work and it's fine. You don't have a lot of volume. Just embrace the technology, start kind of promoting your store, let people get used to you being online. And as you grow, as you progress, start improving the process. Start looking at payment options, start improving, making it more automated. In the beginning, the volume is so small that I've seen people launch a store and for 30 days, not a single order. But you know what? They learn how to use the store. They're ready for the next step. And that's why you shouldn't delay it. Just start with the manual payment options right here. So you can have them all added one by one, and it's going to work from there. So I'm just going to add, let's say, money order. Details on money order. Just put in there. And then here, money order instructions. Fill it out so people can see that information, and I'm going to activate it. That's it. This payment method is now active. Notice how easy it was. Click, fill up. If you know how to type and you know how to click, you're good to go. So that's how you set up the payments. Next, configure taxes. Some of you may need to set up your taxes depending on the volume. Some of you have established businesses. They're big already, they're brands. Don't forget that you have to deal with that in certain areas or certain regions. Speak to the local experts in your area. They're going to guide you in this process because every country is different. So again, go back to settings. And I click on taxes. Look how easy this is. Right now, because I created a store and I'm located in Canada, already they show me these options. And all I could do, let's say I'm in Canada. I'm just going to show you Canada right now. Click setup. I want to collect sales tax. Which regions? I'm in Quebec, so I'm just going to put in Quebec, which is our GST. I'll put in my tax number and I save it. Now they know what to collect. All these settings are all in here. So you decide how you want to set up your taxes based on the rules that you need to follow. But Shopify made it easy that you have taxes for each region and also how you want to charge taxes. Even if you want to do business with Europe, there's the VAT taxes and so on. All that stuff is there inside this module here. Again, speak to someone locally to help you set these up because every country, I cannot give you any recommendations. I only know the Canadian side or the American. But if you're doing business with these countries or vice versa, there are things that you have to consider, and Gilbert can touch on those later on. Next, we configure shipping options. So now we got to make sure that we offer shipping options. Again, I click on settings and I click on shipping and delivery. Look how easy this is. So I choose, where do I want to ship? So I can click on manage rates and I can add new zones. Right now I have a zone called Canada and I offer these different methods. Let's say, for example, the main method is this. Edit, and I say, I want to offer express 1 to 2 business days. The cost is this. Customers will have to pay me $21 for this. And it's based on item weight or it's based on order. So you choose. You put all these conditions as to what is eligible for this shipping method. And you start adding, let's say, express, free shipping over $100. And you see here, it's free. And you set up rates but for each shipping method for each region. And you keep adding them. So you have Canada here, you have the US here. Notice how I can edit the zone. And it's all the countries, all the regions within here are included. So notice how the United States is selected with all the states. This is where I want to ship. You can choose to ship only to Miami because it's the closest one to you, for example. So many options. Now, you can also add international across the world, and you choose the different countries you would like to ship to. All of these with a couple of clicks. So that's from a shipping perspective. You can also have, again, but I can't ship. We don't have the logistics. The goal here, again, is to make sure you are visible online. Forget about shipping. You have a boutique, you have a store right now, you have a local shop. Well, offer local delivery. Shopify made it possible for local businesses to offer local delivery. Again, get familiar with this to learn about how Shopify works, how e-commerce works. You're not shipping outside yet, but at least you're shipping locally. And that's a good start, in my opinion. You're embracing digital, there's progress. Your business now has a new channel that could potentially drive more revenue for you. So you can offer local delivery and work with the local shipping carriers that are in your zone, in your area for the time being. Just again, slowly expand to other areas. Here's another option that Shopify added. It's called local pickup. You know what? Some people are very comfortable, are more comfortable when they buy online, but would like to see the product first before ordering it. So why not offer the option for people to come to your website, select the products they want, and they choose the option for local pickup, meaning at the end of the order, they're going to tell you, well, I want these 3 items. I have to pay $50. Put in the order, reserve them. I'm coming to pick it up. And when they come pick it up at the shop, they'll pay you, they see the orders. But guess what? The website drove the sale to your shop. Again, that is e-commerce. In other terms, we call this omni-channel e-commerce. People can buy from you from all different angles, from all different channels, online, local deliveries, pickup in store. All these options are available to your customers, and that's how you embrace the digital world with this. So you can see right here that all of these options are here, that you don't need to worry about the logistics and payments. You can just start somewhere and eventually expand in offering these options. You can also select your shipping labels. There's a lot of shipping companies that integrate really well with Shopify, DHL, FedEx, USPS, and so on. I'll leave that as well to Gilbert to cover later on. So that's the shipping. The last thing is we configure the legal pages. So again, you go into settings, you click on legal. What do you do here? Very simple. First things first, add your refund policy. Whatever policy you have right there, do it. But Allah, I don't know what to write. I don't know how to make it look professional. Here, click on create from template. Boom. Shopify even gives you a template you can start with. How do you handle exchanges, refunds, damages and issues, and so on? So what is the time delay? Right here, just modify this and save it. Here, I'm gonna save it right here. Next, your privacy policy. So there are 2 legal pages an e-commerce business needs to have. Because you're transacting online, those pages are required. Number 1, it's called privacy policy. And the second one is called terms of service. What does it mean? Let me just make it simple for you. Privacy policy protects your customers, protects their private information, their shipping information, their personal information that they give you. So the privacy policy protects the consumer, and the terms of service protects you as a business. Honestly, these 2 pages are there so that you're protected from lawyers and all that stuff. So make sure that you have those in place. Again, Shopify makes it easy. Click create from template and just modify this by adding your information. Very simple stuff, just have it. And then here, terms and conditions, same thing. You see right away, this website is operated by Tasty Barbecue Shop. Immediately, it fills up everything for you to make it easy. And in here, you put in your shipping policy. I always say, what is the free shipping threshold? So I offer free shipping to this region on orders over, let's say, $100. Otherwise, let's say Jamaica, standard shipping is $10. Put it by region, put in the shipping method, just list them out because people care about that. They're gonna look for the shipping information. So you wanna fill out all of your pricing, how much is it gonna cost, how long it's gonna take, what to expect, is there tracking, is there no tracking, the local delivery options, the pickup in store options, just list them all out in the section so that customers, when they come to your website, they feel confident. They're gonna know what is the refund policy. When you buy something, you always worry about what if I don't like it? What if it's not what I expected? Can I return it? How does that work? That page is under refund policy. And when somebody wants to know how much does it cost to ship this to them, well, you have a page where you have that information in the shipping policy. So those pages are the legal ones that you have to fill out. And that's it, okay? Now that we've configured and did everything, we've done the boring stuff, I always say. Now we move on to the visual, the fun stuff of e-commerce when setting up your store. And it's all about designing and adding products to your store. So I'm going to list out what you need to do. First, I'm going to show you that you don't need a graphic designer, by the way. Shopify has already a list of free design templates that you can easily install. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And without paying anyone, you can just highlight. You could buy also a design that's about $180 to $200. You can have something a little bit more advanced, but the free templates that are available are easy for you to get started with, and they're very powerful. From there, I'm going to show you how to add products. I'm going to show you how to create collections and categories. I'm going to show you how to create an about page. I'm going to show you how to create a help page. I'm going to show you how to create a contact page when people want to reach out to you. How do you do that? That's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to show you how to create the navigation on your website so people can navigate and browse your store. And finally, we're going to play around a little bit in designing each of the pages so that you know where to go when you do this on your own. I just want to, again, guide you in this process. We'll show you how to change the homepage banner, how to add different products, so you never have to deal with a programmer, honestly. Okay, so let's get started. Let me know in the comments, is this useful so far? Is this easy? Is this what you expected, or you thought it was a lot harder? I mean, give us some feedback in the chat. I would love to hear. This is the first time we're doing this type of workshop, and the feedback will be helpful for us here at the Caribbean Export. So in the meantime, let's get started. So the first step is we're going to select a design for your shop. So right now, when you open your store, I'm going to show you this. You click on online store here, and you click on themes right here. Notice how there is the current theme right here on the right-hand side that's currently used. And you also have the theme library that you could choose from. So what we're going to do is you click on explore themes, and you'll notice that Shopify provides you with those free themes that are here. I personally like Debut, this one right here. This one is really flexible. And trust me, I've used a lot of these themes. This one has all of the bells and whistles you expect from an e-commerce store, especially if you're getting started. It's very easy to use. It has everything you need to get started. So what I like is I use the light style, this one right here. Okay, so I'm gonna just select that and I say, add that to the theme library. Then I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna say, sorry. Right now I'm waiting for them to include it. Just gonna refresh. There you go. So I added that theme that I like. Now, for those of you that want to explore more themes, I highly recommend you go to themes.shopify.com. And notice if you come to themes.shopify.com, you have a better experience, a nice interface to test things out. So let's say, for example, all of these themes are right here. Let's go to the one I was talking about. You can look for themes by each category, by industry, furniture, health, beauty, you name it. I'm going to go to all themes, and I'm going to say, show me all the ones that are free right here. And watch this. So where's the debut one? I missed it right here. So let's say I like this theme. You can literally demo the store. So let's say I want light. I want to view a demo. This is how the store is going to look like. Look how beautiful this is. Everything is going to be available for you to update and customize. If I browse the store, look at the menu. I'm going to go inside sofas, chair, sorry. I'm going to click on this chair. I like this, nice images. Oh, let me see how it looks like on mobile. I can just click on this icon right here. Now I see how it looks like on mobile. So you can literally test out all the different templates that are available in Shopify before installing them or before purchasing them. So just go to themes.shopify.com in order for you to test that out. So going back to the store, now that the theme is installed, what I'm going to do is you can preview the website. So this is how this tasty barbecue shop, it's still empty, but you can see here, I'm going to start filling this up. Yeah, I like it. Everything is good. What I'm going to do is publish, or you edit. But right now the store is closed. There's a password, no one can come in. So I'm just going to publish it. And now Shopify installed that theme right here. So I'm just going to refresh it again just to make sure. And now the theme is installed right here. So you can preview, and there you go. It's still not designed or configured, but at least now it's there. We're going to do this afterwards. So that's how you select a theme for your store. Again, no graphic designers needed. Next step, we're going to start adding products to the store. Watch how easy this is. I click on products. And all I have to do is add product. So we're going to prepare a barbecue shop. We're going to sell barbecue sauce, barbecue seasoning, and some accessories to help people barbecue. So I'm going to just fill out some information. I took some sample products online. So I'm just going to go to my other screen. So let's say I'm going to sell this brand called Bullseye Original Barbecue Sauce, 8 ounces. That's the name. I'm going to put a description. In the description, I'm going to add some information about this barbecue sauce. So I usually tell people, put in at least a descriptive product information so people know what they're getting. So what I like is doing kind of like a short description on top right here. Then I would say, for example, ingredients, materials, what you get, give them an idea, and I list them all out. So you can decide how do you want to do this. And then here you can literally change the colors, change the design. I want to do this like that. I want to underline it, you name it. You can use this option, even add images if you want in the description. It's all here. Okay. So I put in the information. Then what I do is I upload pictures of the product. So right here. So this is product 1. I prepared the images already. So I usually like to put the main image. So this is the barbecue bottle itself. Then what people care about is ingredients. So you have the ingredients here. I have some nutrition facts. And also I have a picture that makes them want to lick the screen, so that eventually they want to add to cart and check out. Again, you're there. They can't touch it. They can't smell it. They can't taste it. You got to help them. So you got to help them visualize what this product is all about. So putting in beautiful pictures, lifestyles, how to use the product, videos, people using the item, all this does help a lot. So all these images are there. This is going to be, let's say, $18.99 instead of $24.99. I don't know the price of I know it's expensive. I'm just showing you how to fill it out because that's an expensive barbecue right now. You can also put your cost. Let's say this is only $5 cost. It even tells you how much margin you're going to make and profit immediately as you enter this information. Again, this tool makes it really easy for you to conduct business. You can put in your SKU, your stock keeping unit, if you have one for this product. I hope you do. A barcode if you have. You can also include the quantity. This way you manage your inventory in store and online through Shopify. So let's say I have 100 of those. That's right here. If it sells out, do you want people to still be able to purchase because you have access to it? Then you can just click this check mark here. Continue selling even when it runs out of stock because I have my suppliers close by. You don't want to lose potential sales. So these options are right here. Put in the weight. If you plan on shipping to the US or other countries, you may need to put in some customs information, and your carrier, your logistics company can help you with that. Every product has some rules, and you can just fill this out here. If you have products with different tastes, colors, sizes, look at this, variants. You know what? I have the small size, small, medium, and the large bottle. I have, let's say, different flavors. So flavor could be, garlic, barbecue, spicy, all that stuff is there. You can even add these options so people can choose. And each option, immediately you see it right here. You can even have different quantities for each of these options. All of this is done for you. So if you sell clothes, you have small, medium, large, and you have 5 of each one, then you use this variant option right here, and you set your inventory for each of those different sizes and different styles. That information is available. And we save it. So I added the first product. One other thing I should have said also, right here, you start creating your category. So this product, what is it? It's a barbecue sauce. So add barbecue sauce. Perfect. Just make sure you organize your catalog by product types. And I'm going to just make it active. Save. And I'm done. So now, first product is added to the store. I'm going to add a second one. Now, we said we're going to sell not just sauce, but we're also going to put in some spices. And I'm just copying this information from Amazon, honestly. So you shouldn't do that. You should come up with your own info. So here I'm going to put a short description. I'm going to list out some things about, I don't know, ingredients, just some examples. I'm going to make this bold. And then I'm going to add the images. So product 2. Each image is being added right now. I'm going to make sure this one is first. Then I'm going to show the back of the bottle, the ingredients, and the nutrition facts. This one is going to be $9.99. Cost is, that. And let's say instead of $14.99, and the cost is $3. I'm making a 70% margin. You can choose also if you want to charge tax or not. Fill out all this information. And here, we're going to add product type, barbecue seasoning. And save. Product 2 is added. We're going to add another. There's a reason why I want to add 3 products, because I want to create some new categories. Oh, I forgot to put in, first of all, I need to make it active. And I'm going to put in some inventory so people can purchase it. And it's saved. So now we have sauce and the seasoning. I'm going to add one last one. Like we said, we're going to put some accessories for the barbecue lovers. So we're going to put these Cuisinart barbecue set. And I'm just going to copy this info. There we go. About this item. There we go. I'm going to add some pictures. Obviously, you do this nicely. You take your time. I'm just going at it fast right now, just so that I can display. So this is the barbecue set. I'm going to put a nice picture explaining every tool. I'm going to show people how to use it. I'm going to show people some of the end result, and also the bonus that you can open up a beer bottle with it too, something fun. Then I'm going to put the price. So this one's $49.99 instead of $65. And my cost is $20. Make a nice 60% margin. I'm going to have also 100 of those. All this is good for now. Active and barbecue accessories. There we go. And save. Now notice, all 3 products have been added. Very simple. And you do this multiple times. Next step, we're going to start creating collections. Collections are good because it's going to allow us to make navigation include some navigation on the website. You make it easy for people to browse the categories on your website. So what we're going to do is we have 3 categories: sauce, seasonings, and also we're talking about accessories. So you click on, again, products. Click on collections, and we're going to create a collection. So first one is barbecue sauce. Watch why this one. Product tag. We're going to say in this collection, we're going to put everything that's product tagged as, product type is equal to barbecue sauce. And I save it. That's it. You can put images in here. You can describe the category. I always recommend you fill out all of this information. But for now, I just want to show you how easy. Look, automatically now, if somebody goes to the collection called barbecue sauce, automatically Shopify is going to show all products that fall into that category. You don't have to do this manually yourself. So that's there. So that's the first collection. Next collection, barbecue seasonings. Again, I'm going to say product type is equal to barbecue seasoning, save. And then I add another one, barbecue accessories. I think I forgot to. Yeah, give me a second. I think I forgot to add this to a, no, it's here. Why isn't it showing up? Let me refresh, create collection, barbecue accessories, product type. Something is going on. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it manual. Watch this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the item. There we go. You can do that as well. So you can do it manually. You can do it automatic. So at least that's also an option. Going back to it now, we're done with the collections. So now I have barbecue accessories, seasonings, and barbecue sauce. We need to create an about page. In the previous workshops, I talk about this. When you want to sell products online, be proud of who's behind the brand, how the brand started, your story, how you got into this business, because people care about that online. What differentiates your product? Let's say you sell barbecue sauce in Jamaica and I can buy it also on Amazon. What's the difference? When you start communicating what the brand is all about, your family recipe, your experience selling Jamaican-based barbecue sauce, all that stuff matters to the online shoppers. Nowadays, people want something unique. And the uniqueness is not just in the product, but what the brand is all about. Your story is one of the most unique things about your brand. So don't be shy to share it. People love this, especially if you're targeting people, expats that live in the US, people that are from Jamaica and the US, and they want to buy homemade or homegrown type of products or handmade products from their region. Share your story. And that's what's going to help you really differentiate your brand against all the ones that are out there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you just how to create an About Us page. Very simple. And you can create many pages. I'm just showing you how to create a page on your website where you just share information. So what you do is you click on Online Store right here. You click on Pages. And you guessed it, add a page. We're going to say About Tasty Barbecue Shop. And you put in information right here. We've been in business for X years and so on, so on. You put in all this information. You can add pictures. You can add all sorts of information just to tell your story, how it all started, you know, what makes people behind the brand, and so on. In the content I'm going to give you access to, we go through this step by step. So don't worry about it. Right now, I'm just showing you how to create a page. So let's say this is your About page. You add onto it some images, maybe some videos from YouTube, all of that stuff, you put it right in here and you save it. That's the About page. You need an About page because when was the last time you buy from someone who you don't know about anything? You need to provide that information so people, again, feel confident and you establish a connection with the brand, with that consumer. So eventually they feel like, oh, wow, I love what this brand, what this company stands for. I want to buy my barbecue sauce from them and not from Amazon or somewhere else. So that's how you create a About page. There's another page you have to create. It's called the Help page. Help pages are important for those who come to your website but need some additional information. I want to know how much is shipping. I want to know, I have some questions I want to ask. Where do I go? And so on. So you want to centralize all of your help resources on one page. Again, you can just make it very, very simple. So let's say, for example, you go here, again, pages. I'm going to click on help. Let's say with frequently asked questions, FAQs, you know, and you lay out all this in. This is a help page. I'm just going to write this. And you list out every information that all the questions that people may have about your product, your company, shipping, link them all here. write everything in this paragraph right there so that people can read it and get answers to their questions. Save this. We need a contact page. When people come to your website, they may need to reach out to you, whether by email, phone number, your mailing address. So let's build that page. So what you do again, you click on pages, you click on add page, contact. Now what's nice is you're gonna put, let's say, your address here, mailing address. You may list out your phone number, you put your email address, all this information makes it possible, hours of operation. If you have a store, you want to put up that address, all this information, put it in the contact page. What's nice is Shopify made it easy so that people can fill out a form. So what you do is on the right-hand side here, you click on page contact and you save it. What that does is, you see, when people go to your contact page, they'll see your information and there will be a form that they can easily fill out and it will send you a message directly to your email inbox. So that's how Shopify made it easy to even include this form instead of you having to program it and have someone create it for you. So that's how you create a contact page. Now that we have all of these contents created, now let's create a navigation for the website. This one is nice. So you'll see the store. Right now, this is the shop. There's nothing in the navigation here. So we're going to go back and watch. This one is very important. So watch this step here, because that's going to help you really set the tone of the store. So under online store, you click on navigation. You will have the main menu right here. Click it, and you'll have the options right here to change things. So what I usually like, the first one is called welcome. When people come to the website, welcome, and it links to the homepage, I leave that there. So that's the first link. Next, we're going to add an option for people to shop. But what I want to do is, I don't want to call it just like catalog. It's boring. So what I want to do is barbecue products, let's say. That's what we're going to call it. And we're going to link it to all products. We're going to add a new one. We're going to call this barbecue sauce. Now, remember we created a collection called barbecue sauce. I'm going to link that to that page. So I go into the collections and I click on barbecue sauce. And add. This, watch how easy it is. I just put it under barbecue products. So there's a drop down. Then I create another item under it. So barbecue seasonings. Collections, seasonings, add. Look how this is easy stuff. Again, you just need to learn where to click. Again, I'll put the last one, barbecue accessories. Click here, collections, barbecue accessories, and add. So now we covered the products. Let's say shop barbecue products. I want to add a link to the help page, about us. So again, I select pages. I created a page about Tasty. There we go. Then I want to create another page, a link to help for those who have questions. See now all of these things we did now are needed. Pages, help, I add that. And then the last one is our contact info, because people care about that. Pages, contact, add. Then I save everything. Watch what happens. I'm going to refresh the website, and everything is already here, right on top. So when people come to the Tasty Barbecue shop, there's a link on top that says welcome. I can click on shop barbecue products. I have all the different categories. About us pages here. The help page is here. The contact page is here. It's all set up. If I go to barbecue sauces, I'll get a list of the products in that category. The images are beautiful. Everything shows up. It's on sale. If I click on this item, and there you go. All the information that I just created is now made available on the website. So now we go back. The last part, the fun part, is designing the homepage, the collections, and the product pages. How do you make this look better? I mean, right now, there's no information. So I'm going to show you how to kind of customize the theme with a couple of clicks. We go here under online store, we click on themes. And then on the right-hand side, you'll notice this is the current theme that's enabled in your store. I'm going to click on customize and watch this. No programmers needed. So let's have some fun. First things first, header. We're talking about this part here. I want to change maybe the logo. Okay, right now it's using the name of the store. So watch this. I'm going to go inside here on Canva. You remember I mentioned that tool? I'm going to say, Canva, help me create a logo. Okay, we're here. You know what? Let's make it, let's just use something quick. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this. Your internet connection zones. Okay. And watch this. I'm going to just change tasty barbecue shop. Let me see if there's something I can find about a barbecue icon. Maybe there's something we can add. Yeah, here we go. Watch this. Look how beautiful this is. I'm doing this literally with just drag and drop. So I just created a logo. And you can animate it if you want. I just want it regular right now. Sorry. None. And I say, I'm going to put in here, tasty barbecue shop. And this is my logo. And I say download, PNG. Perfect. So then I go back to the store. Remember, I go back to customize. I go in the header and I say, upload my image. So the logo is here and I select. Then maybe I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. You can play around with the size, play around. I'm just going to leave it like this for now. Okay. Going back. This is like the announcement right on top of the store right here. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to say free USA shipping on orders over $100. There we go. And I could link them to the help page so they learn more if there's anything. And I can change potentially the color of this bar just to make it a little bit more punchy if I want. You play around with that stuff. So the colors can easily change as you want. And then I say save. So notice now, if I go back to the store, I now have a logo. I mean, it's not the nicest logo right now, but again, I'm just showing you how to do things without going crazy. So that's the header. Next. These are settings. Let me just. So let's say I go back to the store. I want to change this here. This image. So I want to put, you know what, a nice image of a barbecue. There's a website called Unsplash. They have a lot of free images, unsplash.com. And I'm going to look for something related to barbecue. And I want it to be a little bit landscape because I want to put it on the home page. I can select landscape and it's right here. So what I'm going to do is something that looks delicious. I'm getting hungry a little bit, but that's okay. Let's say, I'm just going to, you know what, let's just take this. This looks good. I'm going to save this. And then we go back to the store, upload. We can just do this, drag and drop. So I drag the image and select it and save. So notice what I did right now. I just changed the home page right here. So now it's coming to life a little bit. I want to change the text on that image. Welcome to the most delicious barbecue. Oh, delicious barbecue sauce. And then here, upgrade your barbecue experience with our family-owned recipe. I'm just perfect. And then I say shop now, for example, and I'm gonna link to all products. And save. I'm gonna refresh. Look at this. The most delicious barbecue sauce, upgrade your barbecue experience. Everything is updated on the page here. And if I click on shop now, it goes directly to the different product collections that I have. So now I want to change also, let's say, the featured collections right here. If you can add all sorts of things in your template. So right now they have slides, they have testimonials. You decide what you want to put on this page. You can add a new section. There's all sorts of things that you can add to each section on the website. And the theme that you have selected offers all of these options. You can see it right here. And you just select and add them and configure. So for example, right here, I want to change those. We have 3 main collections. So I want to go in, select collection. The first one is barbecue sauce. Second one, that one. I can change, I think all of them I can choose. A barbecue seasonings, no, barbecue sauce. Okay, where am I? So featured collection. Why isn't it working? I think I have to refresh. Yeah. So then edit collections. No. I want to show. Oh, okay. It's because I have one product in the collection, I can't. So let me see if I can add all collections, collection list. So look at this. I'm moving the collection list on top. So I want to remove this featured collection. I don't want this block anymore. You can easily just say hide section. I removed it. But now I want to clean up this. Collection list is right here. I want the first one to be barbecue sauce. I want the second one to be barbecue seasonings. And I want the third one to be barbecue, the barbecue accessories. There we go. There we go. So popular categories. Shop popular categories, and I save it. And that's it. So if I go back to the store, right here, notice how I have a beautiful homepage. All my categories are here. And you continue doing this. You keep going. So now I want to, let's say I want to change the way the collection page looks like. So let's say I go back to the website right here. And I want to change the way collections look. So I can click on all barbecue sauces, how we list out the products. You go to the collection itself, and then you'll see on the left-hand side, you have the option of modifying things. You may want to put the vendors, you may want to put enable sorting, you may filtering. There's all these options inside how many products you want to show per row. Maybe it's 3 products per row, 2 products, list layout, grid layout. All of these options are inside the collections. Okay. Then when you click on the product itself, you notice on the left-hand side, now you also have the product page design. I can decide how I want things. You know what? Notice how people can't choose the quantity. I want people to choose how many quantities they want of this. So I just click on show quantity, and there you go. The quantity is here. I don't want this dynamic checkout. Make it simple, add to cart. I want people to share it on social media or not. You add this option. You can enable image zoom. You can enable video looping. All of these options are all available in here. Next, you can also add product recommendations. When people look at this product, they may also look at other items and automatically will show up there. So I'm going to do this. Shop barbecue sauces. I click on there. with time, as you start adding more products, you'll start seeing recommendations. And look at it now, the quantity is here. I can add to cart. I can view the cart. All the information is here. And if I decide to check out, well, right now, because I didn't enable the store, I'm going to be able to start going through the payment process, putting in my shipping information, and so on. So that's how you modify the page, the whole website, by simply going in with all these options on the left-hand side here inside your theme and move things around. You want to change even colors, you click on theme settings. Look at this. Colors are all here. You want to change the fonts. You want to link your social media accounts. It's all within the customization of the theme right here. All these options are all available to you without the need of a programmer, developer, a company to do it. You could do this yourself by just discovering things and by clicking on all these features that are available inside your store. Was this easy? Let me know in the chat. Right now, obviously, it's less than about an hour. You can easily launch a store, and you saw how easy this was. Obviously, the one thing that I notice also is a lot of people delay the process because they want their store to be perfect. Good is better than perfect. I've never managed an e-commerce website that was perfect because it keeps changing. So if you're at 50, 60% completed, just launch it. And you're still going to continue updating things. But when you see something launched, you start being a little bit more motivated. And because it's live, you want to make it look good every single day. But trying to perfect the look and feel of your store, it's a constant process. Don't try to overdo it and delay the launch of your business on the internet. So now we're going to go over some of the things that you need to do to prepare your store for digital marketing. I'm not going to go in a lot of details, only because I want to highlight them so that you have a list of things that you need to do. So first of all, you got to make sure that you configure your store description and also social sharing. So I'm going to go inside the store. Notice how I'm going to click on preferences. Make sure that your store description is fully completed. Tasty barbecue sauce, homemade barbecue products from Jamaica, shop online, we ship worldwide. Okay. You have also here the social sharing and so on. So we just prepare this part here and we save it. That's the first step. Next, we want to add a blog if you want. If you're the type of person that loves to share content, that's a great way to drive traffic to your website. Share recipes that people could use when using your barbecue sauce. So this is how you add a blog. You click on blog posts. You create a blog post. So like a piece of article. You write everything in here and you save it. Now, if you have a new blog, then what you could do is you go back to the navigation of the website. You make sure that you link it in your navigation. So I click on main menu and I'm going to add blog. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Save. Notice now that if I refresh, there's a section called blog. And it's going to list out all of your blog posts in there. And that's how you do it from here in the blog post category. Next, add Google Analytics. Google Analytics allows you to track the performance of your store, how much traffic comes in. All you need to do is create an account on the website of Google Analytics. You'll have the link, Suzette is going to share it. And then you take the ID and you put it in here. You don't have to break your head, just do this. Click on preferences, Google Analytics, and you paste your code here. So you create an account on Google Analytics, copy it, and just put it in there. When the time comes, you'll see that, oh, thank God I installed it. So just do that from the beginning. And Google Analytics allows you to track the performance of your store, how many people visited. But you also have that info inside Shopify. If you click on analytics, it will show you all of this stuff. I always recommend to have both Shopify Analytics and also Google Analytics installed. Next, you also can create Google Ads. So in order for you to do this, Shopify made it very easy. Under sales channel right here, notice how I'm just gonna close this. So right here on the left-hand side, under sales channel, you click on the plus sign and I install Google. That's it. Follow the instructions, add sales channel, and it's going to install everything that you need. Just follow the instructions so that's fully configured, connect your Google account, and you're done. So at least now your store is going to be ready to advertise on Google Ads. Next, add Facebook and Instagram integration. So going back again, sales channel, click the plus sign, Facebook. It has also Instagram. Again, just follow the steps step by step. You say yes, install, configure all that stuff. Just update the sales channel. Notice here on the left-hand side, now I have Facebook and Google added. And you configure everything. Connect your store, connect your Instagram, create free or paid ads with content. All of this stuff is centralized in this area. Add email marketing. So you don't want to just focus on advertising, spending money on Google, Facebook, social media. You also want to build your email list. My recommendation is to always use a tool called Klaviyo. It is one phenomenal tool that integrates really, really well with Shopify. It's free up to, I believe, 250 subscribers. So if you're just getting started, that's a great tool. You'll be able to send emails to your list, all that stuff. So when you install it, you'll be able to install the Shopify app also. So as soon as you install the app on your store, then you'll be able to connect it to your email software like this. Install app. So now Shopify is going to communicate with your email software. I'm not going to continue, but that's the way to do it. At least, again, I'm highlighting these things ahead of time so you're aware of it. I mean, digital marketing is just another workshop on its own. But at least from here, you know what you need to do to set up these things. Okay, so that's done. And then finally, we optimize pages, collections, all the content that we created. You have to optimize it, prepare it for Google so that if somebody searches your tasty barbecue shop, it shows up in Google results. The way to do this is very simple. Make it a habit that every time you go to products, I think I'm in the wrong store. Yeah. So let's say I go into products. Make it a habit of always making sure that if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's something called SEO right here, this part, search engine listing. Make sure everything looks good here. The title of your page, a short description is in there, because that's what Google is going to look for when deciding whether or not to show you in the search results when somebody's searching for you. So on products, you do this in the bottom of the page. Make sure that this information is properly written. Usually Shopify does it automatically for you by using the information that's available. But that's something that you always have to remember. Optimize it, meaning improve it and write it in such a way that it will look good on Google as well. Then you do the same thing for collections. Notice how if I go to accessories and I scroll all the way down, see there's no description here. So here I would write shop wide selection of barbecue accessories made in Jamaica, and so on. Put in all that information. So you don't want to leave these empty. You want to make sure this information is properly filled up so that if somebody goes to Google, for example, and types in barbecue sauce, all this information shows up here. You see this title, this description, it's pulling it from those areas I just showed you. And you do the same thing also for pages on your website. So if I go back to the online store, I created an about page right here. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Right here, you have the SEO as well. But notice how Shopify filled it up for you automatically. But just make it a habit of making sure that every product, every collection, every page has a title and a description as well. And step 5, which is the last part, is time to launch your online store. So how do you do this? Well, first of all, you got to test everything. Don't assume everything works. Go through the store, purchase items, add items to the cart, go through the checkout process, try to fill out your information, make sure everything works before going out there and announcing the launch. Next, I highly recommend that you launch a giveaway. And the way you do this is you create a page on your website, and I included a link to Klaviyo. It allows you to create a giveaway by simply creating a form that people can sign up to for a chance to win one of 10 barbecue sauces that you're giving away for people who subscribe to your email list. So what's nice about doing a giveaway is you're making people come to the website, want to win one of your products. They're going to give you their email address. So you're building your email list, and that's going to help you afterwards because you'll be able to communicate with them. And they're going to be able to share it with all their friends that, by the way, Tasty Barbecue Sauce Shop, they launched their store online. Why not just go sign up for the giveaway? So you're generating some buzz, and a giveaway does really well with that. You announce this giveaway on social media. That's the free way right now. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all those channels, LinkedIn, if you are targeting B2B businesses, just announce the website and tell people, go to the website and sign up to the giveaway. And watch this here. We're going to create a page called giveaway. I'm just going to do it right now, just so that you have it. Inside this here, you're going to Klaviyo, the email software, is going to give you a piece of code. You just copy and you paste it in here, and it's done. And what you do is you go in the navigation, and I'm going to add the giveaway to the menu so people can find it. There we go. And I save it. And now when you go to the website, I have a new section called giveaway. Now it's just, this is too long. So I always recommend that you clean up the page. So I'm just going to put shop barbecue. I'm just going to put barbecue products. And that's it. Save it. I refresh. It's not working right now. Or my screen is a little, yeah, there we go. It's all on one line. It's good. Next step for you as a business is to start advertising your store on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on TikTok, and all of the channels that are out there so that you start driving traffic. You could do it the free way by simply creating content and sharing it across these platforms. Google will look at your blog, they'll start looking at your pages, and they're going to start showing them up with time, but it's not always easy. So that's why I always say, if you really want traffic, you got to start supplementing it with paid advertising. And you can also use offline efforts. You're at a bazaar, you're at a show, you're at an event, or you have a boutique. Always talk about your store so that they come online, and tell people, visit our online store if you want to shop online. So try to raise awareness of the fact that you have an online shop. So let's recap. First step to building your stores, you've got to prepare the essentials that we had mentioned earlier on in the session. From there, you create and configure your online store. You start designing it, and you add products, collections to it so that you fill it up with content. You prepare your online store for digital marketing by installing Google, Facebook, all the channels that you potentially will need, including email marketing. And finally, you launch your online store successfully by testing everything, launching it with a giveaway, and really sharing the news across all of your social media, and also potentially start spending money on advertising to drive people to the store. As promised, what you could do is go to this link, ecommercetrainingacademy.com/go/challenge. You can take a picture of the screen if you want, or just go to the link and you sign up to the challenge. And I have it set up in 21 days. Everything I showed you today could be done in 21 days, step by every day. We do one specific task. So it's free. You can just sign up there. I will plan on updating the content because it's been a year since the beginning of COVID that we created this. It's time for me to update it. So even if you sign up right now, you'll also get the updated version later on. So just make sure to go to this link if you want more details. I share all the tools. We go more in details. I don't do it in an hour and a half. It's over 21 days. And here is my contact information. Again, thank you very much again for attending this webinar. And I hope this was useful. I always look forward to hearing your feedback. So thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much, Ala. Don't go away, guys. We still have one other session. But before, I'm conscious of the time, and I know you asked quite a bit of questions. I do have them noted here, but I do want to give our next presenter ample time to make his presentation as well. So I'm going to ask Gilbert to come now and make his presentation. Just to let everybody know that we will allow you time to ask your questions of both presenters, okay? So we did have a cutoff time for 1 o'clock. Gilbert tells me that he won't do more than maybe half an hour to 40 minutes. So that will give us a good amount of time to be able to ask questions. That was a lot of information to take in, I know. People keep asking. I'm letting you know again, the recordings will be available on our YouTube channel, okay? On Caribbean Exports YouTube channel. And we'll also ask Ala to post it on the eCommerce Training Academy platform. So you'll have 2 places to find the information. Now, Gilbert is going to deal with some of the issues that were mentioned that are particular to the Caribbean. So he's going to talk about payment. He's going to talk about logistics, give you some ideas there. I saw a couple of people also talking about stuff about WePay and all kinds of other stuff. I'm sure Gilbert will give you some heads up or some perspectives on that as well. Gilbert, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to those who have been here before, and welcome to those who join us for the first time. As Suzette said, we've been doing this for the past year or so. We understand that there's quite a bit of challenges in the region when it comes to doing e-commerce. And for the time being, a lot of those challenges are being held back because of policies. But because of who we are, we've come up with different solutions to get around some of these issues. We're not going to be able to solve everything, but we do have some great suggestions. Al was pointing out, it's really, really important for you to have a public-facing website so that people can see who you are. That public presence is critical. As we move forward, there are things that you have to take into consideration when you start doing e-commerce, a lot of things that we take for granted. In my agenda today, I have a few of those. You can see price for profitability and deliver value for longevity. I'm going to go through a number of slides. We're going to talk about how you get paid, different hacks for getting paid, fulfillment, what's happening in the Caribbean right now, how we're developing, how things are changing. And I'm going to talk about our e-commerce platform, Etniv. So let's go through this. Understanding your market is really important. Yes, we exist in the Caribbean, but this is no longer going to be your sole market once you go e-commerce, once you go online. Your market is now going to be more diverse. You have to position your product and your prices to suit this new and more sophisticated market. Right, so if you're dealing with customers from so-called developed countries, first world countries, you have to take into consideration they're used to shopping online. They're used to particular values, they're used to particular services. How do you position your product and prices to meet that market? Normally, we at Etniv, what we do, we cater for the upper 10% of the population who typically has the disposable income to spend on e-commerce, right? Or they have banking access. In the Caribbean, we know this market does exist. Now we are broadening your market to other countries outside of that region. Price of products to account for production and return. So one of the things we don't take into consideration as we begin to sell on e-commerce, a lot of people don't, is how do I properly price my product? One, I have to look at production costs. What is the cost of this product? And what am I going to do? What is my margin? What am I going to do as a term of margin? Am I going to do a 50% markup? Is it as simple as that? But we see that there are lots of other things that you have to take into consideration. What if your product gets returned? What about fulfillment, delivery? How are other sites able to offer free delivery on products? Those prices, they aren't free. They're built into the price of the product. So if you're offering free delivery over a certain amount, you have to take that delivery process and the return process into actually pricing your product. For instance, I'm going to give you an example here of what fulfillment is like using a US company. So you're selling a t-shirt online and you're offering free delivery. That fulfillment process is going to cost you. So typical, a t-shirt, large standard size, 1 pound or less. The dimension on the box is 8 by 5 by 4 by 8 by 1 inch. It weighs 6.08 ounces. When they add the shipping weight of the package, that's 11 ounces. The cost to ship that is $3.81. If you're offering shipping, free shipping, you have to take that into consideration. If you're not offering free shipping, you still have to take that into consideration. And then we look at the possibility of a $3 fee for returning that package back to the fulfillment space. You have to take those things into consideration, right? You look at a bigger package, it's $75 to ship that bigger package, which is a TV, a large size television. Let's say you're doing that even within your spaces within Caribbean, in Jamaica, in Trinidad, and you're doing local delivery. What if that package has to be returned? You have to take those things into consideration as you price your products. All right, and you price so that you can deliver value. So we're going to what that means here. So commonly pricing strategies, costs plus pricing, right? So it's the cost plus a markup on that particular product. It's very, very simple. Premium pricing, I made an example of this in some of our last sessions. I do not have the photograph that I was sharing earlier, but I was just talking about barbecue sauce. I can price my barbecue sauce as a premium product because I would say that this was made in Jamaica. It was made by all organic products, and it's a homemade recipe. So it's not like a factory made product where you can spend $9.99 for it. My barbecue sauce is actually $20, right? It's worth, I am saying that this is special, and I'm not catering for the person who is just ordering just to do a regular bag. I care about quality. I care about where it's come from. That's your consumer, that's your market. So you price your product for that premium market. You can follow manufacturing suggested prices. That usually comes out if you're buying products just for resale. The manufacturer has a suggested retail price, which would include a markup for you and could come under contractual circumstances. Penetration pricing. You can price so that you can capture the market. Sorry. Right, so you can put, you can do penetration pricing so that you can capture the market, which means you might start off low. When you look at what a lot of companies do as they enter the market, Amazon has done this. I'm trying to think of a few other companies. Zappos has done this. Quite a few companies have done this, where they price their products so low that they capture the market. And once they have captured that market, then they begin to increase their prices. We look at green and eco-friendly and sustainable packaging. This is becoming increasingly important, right? So everybody's concerned about eco and socially responsible product. You can price premium for stuff like this as well. So let's say you're out of the Caribbean and you're doing packaging, you could use things like coconut fiber as your packaging. You could use local packaging companies for your products. And you say, well, these products are biodegradable. And you add an additional pricing onto your products. Now you have a consumer base who's already going to be buying your products. Now you have them committed to something even bigger. Yes, this product is much more eco-friendly. I'm willing to pay extra for this. And one of the big things that a lot of us are here about today is how do we get paid? Payment gateways in the Caribbean are far and few between. There are a few that are now coming on stream. I do have a list of them here. For most small businesses in the Caribbean, you'd have to contact your banks, and your bank would work with gateway providers like First Atlantic, which is probably the biggest one there in the Caribbean. Your digital payment solutions like WePay, which a lot of people are talking about, is very good. They have improved tremendously since we last spoke about them last year. I'll go back to them. WePay exists for Barbados, Guyana, St. Lucia, and Jamaica. So currently, if you have an e-commerce site in any one of those spaces, you can go to WePay and they will be able to provide you with a payment solution. CXPay out of Curacao is also a very good solution for what I'm going to talk about in another aspect of this. First Atlantic we mentioned. There's Squish Cash, SwiftPay, and PaySwift out of St. Vincent. Again, these are all digital payment solutions. They're not directly payment gateways. There are ways that we've found to work around the barriers. Yes, and Trinidad. Yes, WePay does operate in Trinidad as well, and Jack Cash out of St. Kitts. Right. So if having a payment gateway built into your website comes with a certain set of responsibilities. You have to maintain certain security aspects of your site. You have to make sure that the user data is well protected. A myriad of stuff that you have to take care of. It's a big responsibility. Sometimes you need to hand this off to, like a lot of the banks in the Caribbean will not allow you to store customer data. They have a lot of different authentication processes that the customer have to go through in order to be able to use their credit cards on your site. Just ways for them to protect themselves. So one of the other solutions is you can't have a payment gateway where in the country in which you exist, payment gateways are not available. But there are credit card machines that you can use. Your banks will allow you to have card swipes. Someone needs to mute the mic. Yes, so card not present solution. So you have a card swipe machine. With this, you can use as one of the things that we suggest is when you build your website, whether it's with Shopify or you engineer your own or WooCommerce, whoever it is. Make sure you put in communications tools like Twilio and TalkTo, which allow for WhatsApp communication with your customer. So let's say a customer is buying a product on your website. They can actually call you via WhatsApp. You can take the credit card information over the phone. You enter that into your credit card machine, and then you accept that payment. We also have things like I have a website that's called Sample Forms. You can get credit card authorizations form, samples of that. I'll show you what that looks like. You can email this to your customers, all right? They can fill out this information, send it back to you. You enter that into your credit card machine. The reason that I like this is that it's proof that this person actually used that credit card on your website, so you have a record of that. Again, these are all ways so that we get paid whilst we develop our payment solutions in the Caribbean, proper payment solutions. One of the challenges is that payment gateways or the digital payment solutions that we currently have, the cost of doing business is sometimes high. Again, you need to take this into consideration as you price your products. Now, credit card fees or the payment gateway fees run anywhere from 1.9% to up to 6-point-something%. That is what you're being charged for selling your products. They're going to take that out of whatever money you make before you see a transfer to your account. So take those things into consideration as you sell your products. Bank transfer is another way. It's slower, it's painstaking, but it's another way of getting paid. You provide a field on your website, just like Ala explained, that Shopify allows you to do that. You provide field, your account information, and you have that customer return and give you that information to say, well, yes, we have made a transfer to your account. You can verify that. But we know this is a painful way of doing things, but it works. Cash and delivery works as well. So that's predominantly for local deliveries within your territories. So it's not something that we recommend because crime still exists. You know, people can target your delivery drivers, or you can do pickup. If you do a cash on delivery, if you allow pickup windows. So I have my store, I have a brick and mortar store as well. Someone comes up to my window, my available time slot. They show up at their available time slot and they can pay cash and you can get your product. You can get a couple of different forms for doing some of the things that we just spoke about at sample forms. If you go there, you can find a lot of different forms that you can have to implement. So again, here are a list of different payment solutions that currently exist within the region. We have JackCash, PaySwift, Squeeze Cash, First Atlantic, CXPay. CXPay does a lot of in-store physical card swipe machines. You can always apply to them and work through your banks to get this set up. We featured them extensively in one of our sessions last year, which was pretty good. Delivering value. All right. So it's one of the things that we have to take into consideration when we do business. When you open up to a global marketplace, you're competing with so many other sellers. So what is to distinguish your product or your service from anyone else's? In my experience, it's value. We have a couple of examples. I'm going to, Five Guys Burger is a company here in the United States. And here's one of the things, one of their hacks for delivering value. You go to Five Guys and you buy a burger and fries. And they'll make the bags of the fries a little bit smaller. And then they dump the fries in this smaller bag. So it seems as if you're getting so much fries than you pay for. So you tend to always think, oh, Five Guys treat me special. They give me much more than I pay for. So you constantly want to go back to Five Guys, right? Trader Joe's is another company that I shop at all the time, not just because their prices are great, but because of their service. When I walk into Trader Joe, if I can't find a product and I ask someone on the floor, do you have this particular product? They won't just send me to the product. They will walk me to the aisle, to the specific spot where I can find that product. And if it's not there, they would say, would you hold on a second? Let me go to my storage and see if it's there. And if it's not, they'll come back and they'll say, well, it's not there. Can I take your number? So that if this product's come back in stock, we can call you or text you and let you know it's here and we can hold it for you. That is service. That is what distinguishes you from your competitors. And in the Caribbean, you know, you're entrepreneurs and you're also consumers within this space. There's a stigma to how we operate. We need to evolve to change that. One of the things that we want to do all the time is consistently engage your customers. So this is why we ask for communications on your website, whether it's WhatsApp, whether it's chat, whether it's your telephone number, whether it's email. Constantly communicate with your customers. If you only do credit card authorization form, do not let me go through the entire checkout process, select checkout process, and then I'm going to get to the end. You said, oh, we only do credit card authorization. No, let me know that up front, that this is what it is. This is how we do business, and this is why. It's important. After I have bought that product, I need you to communicate with me because I don't want, as an entrepreneur, I don't want my consumers returning the product. So the more I engage with them and understand exactly what their experience is, it's better. So I let you know, hey, this is the product that you bought. This is what is expected to do. I communicate with you after you receive it. Are you satisfied with that product? And I have a track record of that communications. I can also use that communications to offer you different things, all right? Value, we talk about creating products of less value. Partner with local charitable organizations. Again, these are all hacks that you come up with to create value, but they're not a cheat. They're real and it makes a difference. So one of the things that you can do is partner with a local charitable organization. Let's say organization that deals with people with abilities, that create craft, or your local hospitals. And in your packaging, you could include little trinkets and you can say, well, we have partnered with this community organization and we have sent you something. This goes a long way in benefiting this organization. Consumers, conscious consumers and woke consumers are in this eco and socially responsible environment. It's really key that you do things like this. This is not a cost, this is an investment and it takes your business to a whole new dimension. There are lots of these organizations in the Caribbean that I know that you can partner with. Another hack that we use, we create a product of less value that is only available virtually. So I would create an 8-ounce bottle of barbecue sauce, and I price it at $10. But you can never, every time you come to my website, that product is never available. But, or it's available, you can purchase it, but I will always ship you a 16-ounce bottle. Because I've priced, the price that you're paying for is actually for the 16-ounce bottle. And I'll send you that 16-ounce bottle and tell you, we're sorry, the 8-ounce was not available, but we still sent you the 16-ounce at the same price. That consumer feels as if they've gotten something great from you. This entrepreneur was short of an 8-ounce bottle, but he still sent me this 16-ounce bottle. Again, I've priced for that already. It's a great hack. And environmentally and socially responsible products and packaging. One of the things that we do at Etna, that we sell on, is that we bring consumption closer to production. Right? In the Caribbean, whenever we can find a product in our respective territories, we tend to look in the United States or the UK to find that product, or Canada, North America, Europe. And sometimes that product is right there available. Like if you're living in St. Lucia, you cannot find whatever it is. But the first place you look is Miami, but it might be available in St. Vincent. Produced there, available there. So if you can buy from St. Vincent, you tend to keep that money within Caribbean communities. You're supporting a local, regional business. So it makes your products environmentally and socially more responsible. These are things that you can talk about in your products, on your website, how you source locally. And that makes a big difference, right? To consumers who, again, are more aware of what's going on socially and the need to be socially responsible. And another big thing in the Caribbean that we have a challenge with is fulfillment, logistics. So one of the things that we talk about is offering pickup windows, time slots and locations. So if you have a brick and mortar and your e-commerce store, 2 channels where you make your products available, you can say, well, my pickup window is if you order any day before 2 p.m., you can pick it up the next day between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. If you order after 2 p.m., you could pick it up the next day between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. So you make pickup windows available. Use your local courier services, your taxi services to deliver products. We have a brilliant app that we've developed for this. So if you're a store and you want Etnef to handle your deliveries, we will contract the local taxi services, the robot, the mini buses, and we will have them deliver your packages because they're already going in that direction. That reduces your carbon footprint because you're not hiring a service to take your product from point A to point B only. You're using a transportation system that's already going in that direction to deliver your product. Great service, great way to promote your business as being environmentally friendly. There's this great company, talking about them, and we partner with them to do delivery throughout the Caribbean. It's called SwiftPack. And eventually we're going to be doing North America and Europe. So we'll be picking up directly from your business and delivering in North America and the United States. We'll also be doing fulfillment within the United States using warehouses here. That helps with the return process. But SwiftPack is making a significant investment in changing the way that logistics is handled throughout the Caribbean. So currently we're doing 12 countries within the Caribbean. I'll tell you. So 12 countries, we can do flat rate shipping between St. Vincent, Barbados, St. Lucia, Trinidad, Martinique, Guadeloupe, trying to remember all of them off the top of my head, for a flat rate of $15, right? Within 4 to 7 days, which is excellent. So you drop off at any SwiftPack location and we can deliver across the 12 Caribbean countries. I'll make sure that I upload that in the list of countries that we do that before the session is over. Right. Again, SwiftPack also do shipment from the United States, and they can handle your returns from point A to point B. So if you ship a package from Jamaica to as a customer in the United States and that customer wants to return it, SwiftPack would actually handle your return all the way back to whatever the country of origin is. And as I said, we're doing an exclusive partnership with them to help mitigate a lot of that logistic headaches that currently takes place in the Caribbean. So again, not perfect, but we're trying to break down a significant amount of these barriers, and we come up with different solutions to do so. North American fulfillment facilities, we are partnering with a couple of different fulfillment centers here, including SwiftPacks. So we would accept all of your products in bulk, and we will store them. Those storage fee range, as I showed you earlier in one of my slides, what is the cost? What is the fulfillment cost of doing so? A television can cost you $78, but I don't expect Caribbean businesses to be. So if you're doing t-shirts or you're doing sauces, it depends on the size of that box, how long it's in storage, the type of packaging that you want done. We can handle all of that by one, storing them here and delivering to your customers here in the United States and Canada. And we can handle the return process. You tell us exactly what you want to do with that product. As it's returned to us, whether you want to resell it on the site or you want it being sold at a reduced rate, or you want it returned to your sites in Jamaica or in the Caribbean, wherever that may exist. So who we are? We're ETNIV. We are a software as a service platform. What does that mean? So we develop software solutions to meet the challenges that we see exist for developing business and developing economies. So we have been looking at what are the challenges for businesses throughout the Caribbean: logistics, payment, knowledge, technology. How do you set up the website? How do you sell? The tools that you need, the operational tools that you need. So we look at what the gaps are that separate a business in the Caribbean or in developing economies from a business in the United States or in so-called first world countries. Now, in the United States and in Europe, they have access to cash, one. Two, they have access to technology. They have access to a lot of governmental support. They have access to a lot of tools to allow them to have a smooth operations when it comes to their e-commerce and their brick and mortar businesses. In the Caribbean, we do not have that. I can't say that that is easily accessible. This is one of the reasons that last year, Carib Export invested in educating and training a lot of the BSOs to provide a lot of the support, right? So we're going to continue to work along with the BSOs so that we can help you not just start a business, but develop and run a very successful business, expand it. So one of those things that we offer is our e-commerce platform. On ETNIV, we're very similar to, we're quite similar. We are like a merger between Shopify and Amazon. And I'm going to show you what the difference is. On Amazon, you will not have access to your customer data to be able to market directly to your customers. You do not have a lot of the analytical tools that we will provide you with. So let me share another screen with you. So this is what ETNIV looks like on the front-facing consumer side. It's very granular. You could load whatever products you want, whatever categories you want. We can drill it down by country and by store. So whatever store you can, whenever you come to ETNIV, you send us your product, you send us your inventory, we upload that, we create a storefront for you. We did this as a sample for so whatever category of goods you're selling, we will carry it. We have several payment gateways built into our system. So you do not have to worry about credit card payments. we take care of all of that. You do not have to worry about security, we take care of all of that. You don't have to worry about logistics, we take care of all of that. We provide with several different options for doing your delivery locally and internationally. Our experts, we have a great team of people who are willing to work along with you when it comes to your marketing, when it comes to your product offerings, when it comes to whatever challenges that you're having. We will happily speak to you and get you through whatever those challenges are. And we offer you a full administrative interface where you can manage those stores. These are tools that I was talking about earlier that you typically do not have access to when you either build your own or go with other solutions, other marketplaces. So you have a catalog where you can upload all of your products. We will do that initial upload for you. And then we provide you with an interface that you can just edit images, prices, descriptions. You can tell your story. You can create different products. You can create gift cards. You will see reviews from your customers. You will see who your customers are, and you can market to them directly. We have, just like Klaviyo, we have an email marketing campaign built into our system. You have coupons. You can actually create coupons for your products. Depends. So you could start off by saying, I sell my product at $10, and next week you can say, for my first 10 customers, there's a 10% coupon, or for returning customers, and you could email them directly. Order management, you're running loan products. This thing can tell you whether you can accept that order or not. It's built-in alerts. Reports, who's buying your product, where they're buying them from, what is the demographics of that market. So you have limited resources when it comes to marketing. As I said, a lot of businesses in the Caribbean are pretty much cash restricted or finance restricted. So here, how do you spend that limited resources? We give you the options to do that based on our reports. You can set different currencies. So if you're selling in Trinidad, you could change your currency to Trinidad, to TT dollars, Jamaican dollars, Barbados dollars. In the back end, we'll take care of all the exchanges, the currency exchanges. Different shipping options. So you could build in several different shipping options. If you're doing your own delivery, you build that in. If you're using local transportation systems, we build that in. If you have a couple of schooners that are moving between the island, we'll build that in. We do your purchase management as well. So if you're purchasing from a wholesale supplier, you can build that into your system. Your system can say, it will track your online sales, or if you're fully integrated with us, we will synchronize your e-commerce channel on your brick and mortar channel, so that both inventories are fully synchronized. So you know what you have in your physical store and what you have in your brick and mortar store. Whenever you're running low, the system would alert your suppliers to say, hey, this store A is running low on this particular product. You should reach out to the owner operator of store A and let them know, that you have these products in stock. Given COVID, you saw what happens with the supply chain and how that was severely disrupted. Right? The tools that we provide you with gives you the power to manage that much more granularly. And we have a significant amount of other features, warehousing and manufacturing. Those are things that we could go into, but not relevant for this conversation. These are where we built in product authentication. So if you build, we can track the authentication of a product across global markets. So if you're a manufacturer or you make sandals out of Jamaica, you can stamp each of these with a very unique number that is trackable and traceable across markets, so that there is no counterfeiting of your products, right? Even if there's a counterfeit, someone could verify that this is not the real thing. So you are always entitled to the monies that you deserve. You get rewarded for the work you put in. Go back to my slide. So that's Etniv e-commerce e-commerce platform in a nutshell. But we have a series of applications that, as I said, support business growth throughout developing countries. So here we have, I'm quite happy to share the rest of these slides with the audience. Talks about what we do, the different categories, the groceries, electronics, light and decor, arts and craft, books. We go through, this is how we look. Our administrative suite, we have inventory management, customer management, order management, product management, a series of tools. And the synchronizations of your brick and mortar and your e-commerce. So you're not managing two inventories. You're managing a single inventory between all your stores, whether that's 1, 2, or 4. But it doesn't matter the number. Multiple brands with data synchronization, logistics management, where we can handle whatever transportation systems across the Caribbean and within North America. I'll say that our North America delivery system should be in place by April. And we do wholesale e-commerce as well. So whether you want to sell your product in bulk, we will provide you with that platform as well with limited access. You determine who would access those wholesale prices. It's very simple. Customer makes a purchase, your business gains a customer and revenue, and it earns a commission. Key benefits to our partners: the technology, risk mitigation. So we the one that's investing in the technology. We take the risk of doing all of that. We work hard to market your product on our site. You have increased sales and you have 24/7 business operations. So even whilst you sleep on it, you continue to make money. Very simply, you provide us, we provide you with an interface. You send us your inventory and we start selling your product. We do advise you to market as well. You need to let your customers know that you're available here. You do decals on your store. You can do order in store and you can pick up it and be delivered at your home. We have several options for doing business with you. Our fees are based on your category. So they range anywhere from 8 to 20% for our commissions. That all depends on the category. Why? Because yes, we do have, we have to pay our gateway fees, our credit card fees, and a full staff of software developers and security systems so that we can maintain this platform. Again, this is a sample of what fulfillment is like, and we have a lot more.
He did the presentation, right?
Again, thank you guys for coming out. I'm sorry for those of you who have been here with us for the last year or so. It has been great having you. I know the journey has not been easy, but we're not here because it's easy. We're here because we persevere. Suzette, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Gilbert. You took less than the time that you had said you would have. So that makes it even better. So now we have an opportunity for the many, many questions that have come through. If you have a question at this time, I'm going to ask you to just go over to your panel and put your hand up, and I will take the questions as we go along. The questions will be directed to not only Gilbert, but also Ala. Ala is here with us, and we have dedicated the rest of this time for your many, many questions. So please feel free to put your hand up, and we will take your questions. All right. So the very first question, the very first hand I'm seeing here is Jamie. So Jamie, please, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you.
Okay.
Please go ahead and ask your question.
One of my questions was, I didn't really get too much of the costing slides, so if you can go back to that, just so I can take a little screenshot.
You'd like for me to go back to my costing slide? Or is it Ala?
I think that's you.
Yeah,
I think that's you, Gilbert.
Okay, so let me share again. One second.
Or even better, I mean, once we have the slides, we will send them out to everybody. So that kind of makes it a lot easier, and we can move on to the next question.
The costing slide.
Can you put your hand up? All right, so I see Troy. Troy, please go ahead. Troy, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Or day by now, midday. My question is, at the beginning, when you look at Shopify, I got in a little late at the time where you were talking about entering information for the business. What I wanted to know is that, is there a, what happened before that? When you log into Shopify, you have to go where to get that business set up. Or there's a cost associated with it. I didn't hear that part.
So when you create an account on Shopify, it will ask you obviously for an email address, the name of the shop, and your name. And then the next step, it's going to ask you for just your information. So your name, your address, phone number, website, or URL if you have anything. And if you have a business, then use your business information on that page. In these two steps, you can modify them afterwards. So don't worry if you put the wrong information. Before you launch the store, you can update this information just like how I showed you in the general information and the settings in the store. So usually, if you have a business, then put the store under your business. But if you have nothing set up and you just want to, test things out, you just want to play around a little bit, then use your personal information at this point.
Thank you.
Okay. I have a next question.
Just to let you know that the recording will be made available to everybody. All right. Troy, you can only ask a question if it's short, because I want to make sure that more people get a chance.
Okay. All right. My question is, can you use would it be available to set up a US business LLC or something to use Shopify to make it easier to access other payment options?
Gilbert, you may want to intervene.
Yeah, I didn't hear the question properly. Could you repeat the question, Troy?
Yes, I can. Would it be easier if I opened register an LLC with the US to use payment gateways?
Absolutely. If you have that ability to do it, go ahead. It makes it a lot easier. You have access to so many different payment options if you can do that.
Makes it a lot easier. Like if you set up things in the US and you use Shopify, or it just makes it a lot easier for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks a lot, Troy. Lars, please go ahead and unmute your microphone and ask your question.
Yes, thank you very much. Question, I assume that, let's say I have my website, right? So if I put e-commerce on there, an e-commerce store as a function in my website, I then create a link to this e-commerce platform and can link back. Is that how it works? So
You would, so if you already have, for example, let's say www.yourwebsite.com, it's on another platform and you want to add the e-commerce portion, and you want that e-commerce portion to be on Shopify, for example, then I highly recommend you do it as a subdomain, meaning you're going to put, let's say, shop.yourwebsitename.com or store.yourwebsitename.com. And then from your original website, you would link to it. That's the easiest way to do this.
okay, so I don't have e-commerce, but I have a website. So I do the prefix thing. But so the e-commerce site is a separate site, which is linked to my main website.
What platform are you currently using right now?
No, I'm not using any. I just have a website. That's all. I'm just saying how do I integrate it? Usually,
I mean, you try to minimize the work for yourself by having one website that has both regular, like standard pages and also e-commerce functionalities. That's the best way to have it. But if you already have a website right now, but does not have e-commerce features, and you just want to add those, then just add it, get a Shopify store and put it as a subdomain. That's the best way. And
yes, I could call it the same. I have, if I have x.com, I could call it xshop.com or something. And
call it shop.edge.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's better to have your main domain name still as is.
Okay. All right. And that will be the name of the Shopify, so to speak, website,
Yeah,
so to speak.
like
platform.
what is the domain name right now?
TobagoGold.com.
TobagoGold.com. So let's say your Shopify store will be put under the domain store.tobagogold.com if you want to keep your current website, so you don't have to change anything.
Correct. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks a lot for that question, Lars. Arthur, I'm seeing your hand up. Go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Thank you. Thanks for the chance to ask the question. Hoping it doesn't lead to the need for a whole new webinar, but if Ala or Gilbert could briefly describe how what they've delivered would apply to an e-commerce business that does not deal with the exchange of products. In other words, what we have in mind is just a platform that connects people, and subscribers would subscribe for that service of connection.
So it's a service.
Yeah. So there's no cost, no exchange of goods, and no need for shipping, etc.
You can still use any of the platforms. At this point, if you do not have inventory and you don't have the need, so Shopify is an e-commerce platform that was created mainly to facilitate the process of selling physical goods online. So physical goods have their own challenges of inventory, shipping, packaging, and the whole nine yards. When it comes to services, you can still use Shopify. There's nothing wrong. You can create products. They're now not called physical products. They're just services, and people can add to cart and check out. But you will not leverage a lot of the features that come from Shopify because you don't have inventory. You don't have some of these things that you have to deal with. So depending on the service, you could use other platforms like Squarespace or Wix.com. Like I've used all of them. It's just for me, when it comes to e-commerce, I like pushing for Shopify because it's an e-commerce first platform, whereas every other platform like Wix or Squarespace, they were website creation tools that eventually made it possible for people to also sell products. So it's not their core expertise. And when that happens, if you're trying to run an e-commerce business, you want to be on a platform that is dedicated and specialized in e-commerce so that if you grow, it will sustain your growth and you can easily scale. But do you have a specific question in terms of the selling services?
No, not necessarily. What I've been directed to so far is I have been referred to Squarespace.
Yeah.
But also for what we're trying to do, we might have to say develop something custom.
So my wife does interior design and she's on Squarespace. Squarespace has only two payment methods, PayPal and Stripe.com.
Right.
So if you want to accept payment methods with other vendors, you're going to have a hard time. There are limitations in terms of integrations with Squarespace, but it's a beautiful platform, but it's going to be a pain to manage the e-commerce side because it's made for people that are small little shops and mainly set up in the US. In your case right now, I would really look at, first of all, the payment methods that you're going to be using first, and then from there, see which platform is going to be helpful for you.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
You're welcome.
All right, great. Thank you for that. I'm seeing where there are quite a few questions about services. Like one has just come in from Yvonne about destination management and selling tourism. We did some work on that in our presentations last year, but I've made a note of it, colleagues, to see how we can probably do a session that is directed specifically to the services industry and see how we can help you through that process right now. I don't think there is much else that we can add to that just this minute. I'm going to ask Michael Hines if he could unmute his microphone and
ask. To add something to Yvonne. Shopify
Sure.
works. So even if you use Shopify, you can create packages. And when people check out, there's an option to say this is a digital product. So you're not asking for shipping information and that. So you can play around in Shopify to make it work for services if you want.
All right, thanks for that. Go ahead, please. Michael?
Hi. This is a question for Gilbert regarding the order fulfillment out of the US. How easy or difficult is it for you to receive inventory from a country outside of the US? For example, from Panama Free Zone, to be able to receive it for me in the US and then do the order fulfillment from there?
Oh, that's relatively easy. We were even saying recently in a call that it was so much easier doing that from the United States than it is moving products between the Caribbean countries. And I think I had a small conversation with Suzette about it where she told me that I made her very sad because of how difficult it is moving products between the Caribbean. So it's a matter of you putting together your goods and creating whatever customs document that you need to create within that zone and shipping them to our locations in the United States. We can always provide you with the address for that for Swift Park in Miami, and then we'll warehouse them, sort them, and make them available for delivery.
Okay, so when the products arrive, because it's coming from another country, are there any customs fees from as receiving them in the US that I would? Oh.
Right. Sorry about that. You go ahead, please.
I'm saying if the products are coming from, let's say, Panama Free Zone, and you receive them in the US, are there any fees, for example, customs import or customs duties that would have to be paid on those goods arriving in the US?
Yes.
Okay.
There are custom laws that govern the importation of those products. Yes. Not only that, there may be other laws. We have on Cab Export have a very good section. I think it's very much underutilized by Caribbean businesses and agencies where they talk about what products needs what certifications are to enter in different markets. So you can also check that out, and it will let you know what certifications that you will need to meet to get your products imported into the United States.
Okay, all right, thanks so much. But I'm looking forward to using your service soon. Thanks.
Thanks a lot for that plug as well, Gilbert. It's if people want to log on, they can look at the Caribbean Exports Market Intelligence portal, and you'll be able to find the information there. All right. Could you take your hands down once you've once your questions have been responded to? So it helps me to identify who I have not yet asked. Andrew McAlpin.
Quick question for Ala. Is there a standard size for the product page image size? I have some product I'll upload to my site, but for some reason they're huge. So I'm trying to resize them. I have no idea where to go to resize those images.
Obviously it's Shopify troubleshooting. Usually I recommend 1,000 by 1,000 pixels.
1,000 by 1,000.
The reason why I always recommend that, it's also because that's what Amazon also recommends to all their sellers. 1,000 by 1,000 pixels gives you a good perspective of what the product is all about. You could use a tool. Canva does not let you resize unless you have a pro version. So I usually use this tool. I'll put it in the, here we go. I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's called Pixlr. Pixlr.com is like the Photoshop, the easy version of Photoshop that anyone can use. And you can modify pictures, cut them, do it properly if you want, if you don't have the pro version.
Okay.
Yeah. But usually 1,000 by 1,000 is good enough.
Okay. So I'm currently I have a Shopify store. So is there currently, can I go into the image as it is now? Is there a link somewhere in there to resize images, or do I have to fix it then re-upload back to the system?
I think, hold on, I'm just gonna try to, I'm gonna try to go in the store. I remember that if you click on a picture, yeah, so here, I'm gonna share my screen quickly. So notice how if I go to the product and I click on image right here, I'm inside their editor. So you can click here, crop, draw, and resize.
Okay.
So I can put here 1000 by 1000. You see I'm doing it live. So you could do that if you want. But I would tell you maybe that's the best way so that you keep your originals very high edition, high definition on your computer, and the ones on the website are a little bit smaller.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks a lot, Andrew. I see you still at it from our last training session. You're not letting this one go.
That's what I remember him. Is it the
absolutely, absolutely. I'm hoping that we can offer you some additional support come next month, Andrew, because I know you're with us and you've been with us since last year.
Yes,
all right.
thank you.
Let's see. Can you take your hands down, Andrew? Jamie, I'm seeing your hand up again. Does that mean you have another question?
Yes, ma'am. So one of my questions was, do I need to have a business plan to advertise my products on ethnic.com?
If you need to have a business plan in order to advertise your products, not necessarily to advertise your products, but I always suggest that someone have a plan, whether it's a business plan, a marketing plan, just so that you can track your directions and you can track your budget. It's really important that you have a plan to know exactly where you're going, right? But
Okay,
not no, you really don't need a business plan, but for your own good, yes.
All right, thanks for that. Daphne, please go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Yes, I have a question for Ala. I was wondering, is there an option in the website that a customer can change the language if you want to target Europe?
So when it comes to languages, yes, you have an option. I'm going to show you. Give me a second. Where did it go? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen once again. So if you go inside your store under, I just want to make sure, give me a second. Yeah, under settings, store languages. You can add the default language or change your default language if you want. But understand that when you're going to do this, you may need to install additional apps from the Shopify store. So I know that there was a, hold on, let me just go back. Settings, store languages. You can add additional languages. So let's say I want to add French. Add right here. And it's going to ask you if you want to add a translation language. Depending on your theme, there's some technicalities that you have to consider. But you could do it with Shopify with the use of apps. And I believe now they're integrating, there's some changes that they made to it. So, but this is the option where you could do this. Store languages.
All right, thanks for that, Ala. Akeem, I'm seeing your hand up.
Hi, good afternoon, it's Akem. There was a question posed by Jacqueline in the group as it related to a Caribbean-based company that wanted to sell, say, predominantly in the US. I also wanted to expand that question as it would relate to possibly, if anyone can advise, same drop shipping solely, say, in the US, but you're based in the Caribbean. So you understand?
It would be for you.
So what's the question?
Right. So essentially, you're a Caribbean-based company and you're selling in the US. The question would ask, what would be the tax implications? From some other research that I was doing on my own as well, I know you guys are speaking about, say, your own products, but as it related to drop shipping items, say the item was produced in the US and you drop shipped it in a location in the US, do you pay the taxes, or how are taxes collected on any of those items, even if it was drop shipped from AliExpress, say, to the US?
Right. So again, this is America. Tax is certain.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Ala set up the tax options on the Shopify like very easily. I mean, like he activated for Canada, and there was the option to activate for the US as well. But how does that affect, as I said, affect you as not a US resident and say not having a US registered business?
Right. So yeah. So go back. So the consumer will pay taxes on that product.
So it's just the consumer.
But you're not talking about that money transfers back to the Caribbean. This is why. Go ahead.
Well, like how he set up his stuff and he put in his tax ID.
But that's your Shopify will only help you collect. How?
Collect.
Yeah, it's going to help you collect now how much you need to collect, in which areas you need to collect, and then you have to remit this to the government. That's your responsibility.
Exactly.
Right. No, I understand that, but I was wondering if there was any guidance or advice on that, if you understand what I'm saying.
So from my experience, I'm going to give you almost like, I'm in Canada, you guys in the Caribbean. If I sell in the US, well, I have to abide by, if I am located in the US and I sell to the US, I have to respect all of the tax laws that are there for each state, each jurisdiction, and so on. There are rules for US-based businesses that have to be followed when it comes to taxes. When I am an external company doing business to the US, there are still some restrictions, things that you have to consider when it comes to taxes. You may not need to collect tax because you're not located in the US, but there are certain thresholds that if you start meeting them, example, Gil, I don't have I always say speak to the tax people, but let's say you sell, I think $100,000 or $200,000 within each state, or 200 transactions. If you surpass that by state, then there are rules that you have to follow. There is, yeah, go ahead.
I also found that in my research as well, like different thresholds. As you said, if you sell a certain amount of units or a certain amount of dollars, then you pay taxes, but it's so varying in the US.
By the way, it is a big challenge for businesses in the US also, because it's new. I recommend a tool like TaxJar. Take a look at it. It has a lot of, they work really well with Amazon sellers also. They have a lot of nice documentation about taxes, and I shared those during also our workshops. I would tell you TaxJar is one of them. And also I will tell you the other one, Avalara Tax. Avalara Tax is the enterprise software for online taxes. And this is what a lot of the large companies use, and it's automated, but we're talking big money here. We're like, I remember the last time I signed up to Avalara for a business I was working with, it was like over $35,000 a year just for tax software. So TaxJar is a great tool to learn and see and maybe potentially use, and Avalara is the enterprise level. These two companies have very good information when it comes to taxes and how much to pay. But I always say back again, work with someone local or someone that understands your environment when it comes to taxes, because taxes can literally ruin your business if it's not done right. And the government likes to come back and take their portion. So you want to make sure it's set up properly so that there are no surprises.
Okay, but I wouldn't necessarily need to register in the US.
Speak to these tax advisors.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Right. So I would always say that. So we don't give. So for us, if you're selling in Trinidad or Jamaica, whichever island you're selling in, we would calculate all the taxes, whatever taxes the government mandate, we will calculate that and we'll let you know what those taxes are supposed to be. But we're not sending that information to the government. We will never give you tax advice.
Right? Shopify actually has the information for the Barbados taxes.
Work with an accountant or a tax attorney.
Thank you.
Even if Shopify has all that information, I always say, like, these companies, at the end of the day, they will help you collect, but it is still your responsibility to make sure that the amount is correct and that you remit at the right time to the right state and so on and so forth. So that's why you need a tax expert. And as soon as you sell, you know what, in the beginning you're starting, trust me, there's no issue. It's just as soon as you start growing, and if you're a legit business and you're thinking long-term, having that tax person, consultant working with you along the way in the beginning, because it's only in the beginning that you need to set this up. And eventually afterwards, every 6 months, every 3 months, or every year when you do your taxes, you reevaluate your current structure and see what are your obligations going forward, because they change on every stage.
And it's not an expense. It's a tax. The government literally pay for you to hire an accountant. So hire an accountant and stay in the right lane.
All right. Thanks a lot for that. I'm going to ask Moju. I hope I have I've pronounced your name correctly.
Yes, you have. Thank you, Suzanne. My question is for Ala Hassan. When I followed your
Madhu, could you speak up just a little bit louder? We can hardly
Yes.
hear you.
Sorry, hold on a second. All right. Is it better now?
It's a little better, yes.
Okay, I was saying my question is for Ala Hassan. When we go on Shopify and we want to create this website, I guess practically speaking, when I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna be challenged in knowing the step by step of what you were presenting, and So, is there any tutorial on the website that you can follow to know what to do next, what to do, how to do it?
So Shopify has that's why I mean, for me, even when people ask me, do you have a step-by-step process? I would tell you, you could use Shopify's help because they're always changing the look and feel of their software. And it's hard for us to always keep up to date. I would always tell people use the Shopify information. But when I try to explain it in a webinar like this here, the workshop, I have to simplify it even more because of time restraints. But I would tell you, Shopify does a really, really good job. If you just go inside the interface, follow the steps I gave you today at a high level, but use Shopify's documentation to get the job done.
Okay, and it would be easy to find that documentation.
It's all there. Trust me, I may move a lot fast because of, again, time restraints. But when you log into your account, Shopify will guide you in the step-by-step as well. They'll tell you, add products, set up your shipping, set up your taxes, set up all these things one step at a time. The way I teach it, like today, is usually the best way for me to easily explain the journey to someone who's new to it. And sometimes they might feel overwhelmed on Shopify. But again, you can use both of the ways. But I always like the way Shopify does it.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
I saw a comment by Jacqueline about taxes. So we do, from my experience, because the fact that this is a very beginner's type of workshop, taxes are usually included in a little bit more advanced session because not everyone falls into that. Not everyone is ready to think about taxes yet and everything else. Usually we bring on experts. I did another workshop with another company too. They brought in a tax expert, and usually that's the best way, but only depends on the demand from the audience. That's usually how we proceed with that. I just want to put it out there. But you're right.
Sure. Thanks for that. I was going to say the same as well. I've noted it as an area that we could possibly explore, and I say possibly because we're looking at other topics that we can explore when it comes to e-commerce, and we'll see in terms of demand what that looks like. All right, thanks for that question and the responses. Thanks, Madhu. All right, Susie Lee, you want to unmute your mic and please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, this is for Gilbert. How are you? Thank you so much for bringing this presentation. So my question, Gilbert, I was trying to find Ethnev online, didn't find it until when someone gave me the seller's link. For two questions, is Ethnev a sort of like a warehousing? And is it also a website that buyers can go on to purchase? And I'm a fashion designer. So therefore, in terms of would my type of product suit your, if it's a warehousing, your type of business? Because I don't usually make a dozen of the same product to send it to storage. It's more based on as orders come in, then I would ship those. So is my type of business suitable for what you do?
Yeah, your business would fit perfectly on an Ethnev, right? The fact that you do not produce a whole lot says you might have a high value product. And two, you make by order. So we position you where you can actually receive an order and communicate back to your customers when it would be available. So let's say they have a special order and that order takes 14 days. You can say, here is the process. This order is a special order. It's going to take 14 days. And then we will ship it to you. So yes, we give you the tools to accept that order, get paid for it, and communicate back with that customer through the entire process.
So I have to have a website that links with Ethnev or
no. They will come straight to Ethnev and buy that product. So we are very similar to Amazon on the front end. Just means we give you an expansive amount of tools on the back end to manage your store, your operations, and your order.
Okay, it's just I wasn't finding it when I type it online. When I
Right,
did the search.
we are in the process of unloading and onboarding sellers. So we're looking for people who are looking to sell their products right now. We're going through that entire process.
All right, so I'll make connection then. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. All right, thanks. And colleagues, I mean, there are several other stores similar to Ethniv. We're not pointing you only to one. It's just that we're in the exploratory process. We are only aware of Ethniv. If there are other stores out there in the Caribbean that do something similar, please let us know at Caribbean Export. We would love to see how we can support you as well. We are about supporting Caribbean businesses. So we didn't want to just tell you about Shopify and all the options available for Shopify when there are Caribbean options that we can also take advantage of. All right, so Ethniv is one of them. Shernell, please go ahead and open your microphone and ask your question.
All right. Well, good afternoon. You all hearing me?
Yes.
All right. My e-commerce site is with Weebly, right? And we have a lot of payment limitations. As it is, we only have access to PayPal because we're not in the US, right? What I would like to know is if Shopify would have a migration tool so that we could transfer to and go with Shopify, because what I realize is that Shopify have a lot more options available for the Caribbean region, right? And the next question is that, does Caribbean Export have any plans of hosting a webinar on driving traffic to your e-commerce site, SEO, and setting up backlinks?
So let me answer the first part about a migration. If there are any migration tools, it will be a third party, like some other company that has made a piece of software that will take Weebly and bring it into Shopify. And I just did a quick search on Google. There's a couple of them. There's one of them that's called lightextension.com. And like I see here, I'm gonna put it in the comments and in the chat. So there for sure, there will be some sort of third party that's gonna help you do this. And maybe you might need, my recommendation when it comes to migrations is to find some agency or some consultant or someone that is familiar with both platforms and they've done migrations previously. You don't want to take chances, because if your website goes down right now and you're transacting, you lose money, that could be disastrous. And you don't want to just migrate without thinking it through a little bit, because you have product history, order history, you have customer information, all of this stuff needs to be properly done. So I highly recommend that you just don't use a software, but really work with someone who has the expertise to help you migrate. To your point, one of the reasons why I always tell people, when you choose a platform, don't choose a platform because it just looks sexy and it looks beautiful, it looks easy to use, it has all the bells and whistles. Look at the operational side, mainly payments and all of the things that you need to configure. If they don't support some of the payment providers that you plan on using, then that's a roadblock. And that's why I say I like Shopify only because it connects to a lot of platforms, a lot of payment providers, but still in certain regions, you still have challenges. So that's
but you see, the thing is that they didn't tell us all this upfront.
Yeah.
It's only after we set up the e-commerce platform, then we realize, all right, they don't have an integration for this one. If we're not in the US, we can't access Stripe, we can't access all the others, you know, even in terms of fulfillment.
And
be limited.
This is the reason why, like when I tell people, like these companies, software companies, they're in the software business. They're in the business to get people to subscribe to their Shopify, Weebly, Wix, Squarespace, and then have you pay monthly. And the hopes is that you launch and you start using the platform. But at the end of the day, it's just like any other business. You are the owner and your due diligence is your responsibility. Unfortunately, it's a learning experience. And that's why I tell people, don't stop yourself from taking that initial first step, because it's a learning experience for you to get familiar with technologies. The sooner you fall into some of the roadblocks, the sooner you find solutions to them. And in your case, it's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear, but you're not the only one, honestly. There's so many people facing the same challenge. And I would honestly, before you move to Shopify, make sure they support the one you want to use. Like, there are still limitations with Shopify, by the way. So
Yeah.
Okay.
do your homework first.
I think Charnel will make sure that that doesn't happen twice. So I do think.
Yeah. And the
Yeah,
second
answer your-
question.
Thank you so much for your question, Charnel. All right, so we're winding down. We have 12 minutes left. I'm going to ask Arnold to go ahead and ask his question.
Hi, good afternoon, or whatever time it is with you guys. Great job to you guys who did the seminar. Appreciated it. Just a question I have for Ala Hassan. Can you add videos instead of, let's say I want to set up a photo, instead of setting up a photo on Shopify, can I put a video?
Yes. It depends on the theme, the design template that you use. Some of them do support videos. So when you choose a template, make sure that it does support videos. Now, if it does not support videos, there is a workaround that you can have, and I'll show you an example. Let me give me a second. I'm just going to check my screen. So if you are unable to add videos to the picture, so for example, this is a brand I was working with. Notice how if I go, let's say, for example, to the mask, usually depending on the template, you might be able to add the video right here as one of the thumbnail images. In certain cases, you may not be able to because the theme, the template does not support it. So you may have to look for a template that does, if it's very important to you. But the workaround is you can upload the video on YouTube and then embed the YouTube video in your description.
Okay.
And that's the way to do it.
Okay. Another
I
question.
tell you, don't.
You mentioned a fee to host your products on Shopify.
Yes.
A monthly fee. What was that fee?
Oh, right now, I mean, you have to just go, depending on Shopify right now, I think pricing starts at $25, $30 a month.
Okay.
And depending on what you need. And there is also a percentage of sales that, because you have to process, depending on what payment method you use, just refer to the shopify.com/pricing. I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm not affiliated right now. Like, I'm just telling you guys to use Shopify only because in my experience, 20 years, like I said, I feel like a dinosaur. I've seen a lot of shopping carts. Like back in 2001, when I developed our first shopping cart, there wasn't Shopify, and I had to spend $150,000 just to create a shopping cart. And that's nothing compared to what it is right now. So I recommend just looking at the prices on Shopify to really know the cost of it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks a lot for that question. I'm seeing a couple of other comments in here before we go to the next person with their hands up. I'm seeing people asking Ala about Shopify and its relevance for the Caribbean. And this is why, colleagues, we have given you two options, right? We've given you the option of Shopify, which allows you to do manual payments. And there's a section that Alice, in our presentations today where Alice spoke about that. And then we've given you another option, which is ETHNIV, which has been designed specifically for Caribbean businesses. I don't know if any of our presenters want to make another comment about that.
Yeah, not only have we given you Shopify and ETHNIV, but we have also given you options where you can actually develop your own website, and integrate some of the things that we spoke about. SwiftPack is available using the different payment method that I mentioned earlier. Those are available. So even if you want to do your own website, those options are available to you as well.
I don't believe SwiftPack is available. If that's the specific question, SwiftPack is available on Shopify. I don't believe that option is available. So
no, it's not.
that's in response to that particular question. And I also wanted to just give a quick shout out to Jerry George and say thank you very much for your comment, Jerry, about setting up businesses in the US, given the tax implications, and your advice to everyone that they really need to weigh the cost and benefits before moving ahead with that. All right, Emmanuel, you want to unmute your microphone and go ahead and ask your question?
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Hi.
I am currently in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Welcome. Please go ahead with your.
Yes. It's for the. It's about the. My question is about the tax. Currently, I am selling, or let's say, drop shipping on Walmart. All right, but my business is registered in Florida as an LLC. But when I sell it something on Walmart, they collect the tax. Walmart collect it automatically. So should I still be worried about the tax? Do I or just maybe because Walmart already collected the tax? Or do I have to be worried about that, or should I still go ahead and work with a tax consultant?
The fact that you're thinking about it, I would tell you go ask a tax consultant. As soon as you have that worry, just do it. Again, I don't like pushing it to the tax experts. It's just from my experience, the laws are changing so fast in e-commerce and taxes around the world that my advice may not even be relevant. And I would highly recommend you just speak to someone that can just look at it from a high level. That's why I always say taxes and legal, make sure you hire the lawyer and the accountant just to help you deal with that. That's from my side. I don't have the answer to it, unfortunately.
Thank you very much.
I hire those people myself because I've been doing it so much that even whenever I just set up another company right now, and I still hired an expert accountant to come in and do it because I just don't want to deal with any problems going forward.
Agreed.
Okay, nope. I agree. All right, no problem.
All right, thanks a lot, Emmanuel. Thanks for calling in. Zenila, please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so my question is, right, normally a business does normally change the name as they go along or grow in their customers, right? Would you be able to change your name on Shopify?
You could change names easily on Shopify because at the end of the day, when people find you on Shopify, they're finding you by your address, your domain name, www.yourwebsite.com.
But suppose your name is on the website, well, the domain itself, would they still be able to find you?
The domain name is not the only thing that Google looks at when deciding whether or not to show your business in the results on Google. They take into account many factors. So your domain name is one of them, the way you name your website, your business information, all these things have a role in that.
Okay. Thank you.
Our session.
I'm trying to find who's speaking, but could you please mute your microphone if you're not asking a question or haven't been asked to ask a question? Thank you.
Yes, Danilo, we spent quite a bit of time talking about branding. I was spent quite a long time and how important that is. And your name is a significant part of that. So change your name regularly, or if you do have a need to change your name, it means that you need to develop a marketing plan now, a branding plan, and all of that stuff. So you take those things into consideration before you come up with a name, and if you're considering changing your name. So look at the impact of that.
Okay.
Alice, you're there. Thanks a lot, Zanilla. Not Alice, sorry, Gilbert. They're asking about returns and exchange. How do you handle that at Ethniv?
Okay, so it all depends on where you're shipping your product from. If you're shipping from a fulfillment center in the United States, we will set up that return process. Now, again, there's a fee to that. You communicate. The process starts on Ethniv. Someone buys a product, they no longer want it, they would come onto the site and they would create a return. We would alert you to that return. We would ask, because again, our reputation is very, very important. We would accept that return to whatever facilities based on our arrangement with you. So if it comes back to our fulfillment facilities in the United States, then it sits there until another order comes in, it's repackaged and sent out. You determine how you want it to be resold. We also give you the option for someone returning one of your products or exchanging your products. Again, communications and engagement. Product is being returned, you said to the customer, we are very sorry for this, for your dissatisfaction. We're offering you 10% discount on your next item. This way, you're not just returning a product, you are building, you're creating a relationship for a long-lasting relationship with this customer.
Thank you very much. All right, colleagues, we're at the end of our session. I see that last question from you, Alberta, and we're probably going to have to share with you the information that we did within the training last year, because service-based businesses, an example on Shopify was presented at that time. All right, thank you. Thanks again, everybody, for being with us today. Thanks to our presenters, Ala Hassan from the eCommerce Training Academy and Gilbert Williams, who is the CEO of Ethniv. Their contact information will be shared with you by email. So if you, is that okay, Ala? I know you don't want everybody writing you.
No, but I just want to mention, I do not offer any services. So I have nothing to sell. So people were messaging me, do you offer the service to help me build this? I don't. The only thing I do is advising. You can book a call with me. And I only sell high-end growth programs. And this is really for people that already are established. Otherwise, everything else I have is free or under $37. It's already on the website. So everything I have is available to you, affordable, but I don't offer the services, unfortunately.
Perfect. All right. Well, and that's a good thing about partnering with the eCommerce Training Academy. Because you participated in this event, you have access to additional courses, and we'll make sure that you have that information once you have registered for this event. Your email address is with us, and we'll be able to give you access. All right, thanks again, colleagues, for joining us for another one of our very exciting webinars. I mean, I think mostly everybody stayed. We lost a couple of people along the way, but I think we had, we have over 230 persons who participated in the question and answer section. We're looking to see where else we need to go. So a feedback form will be sent to you. Colleagues, this is the only way we can get our donors or get support to keep bringing programs like this to you. So please, please, please fill out the feedback form. Please send us your ideas. Please let us know what your next steps are. If you're going to open a store, if you've moved from thinking about it to actually sitting down and starting to get it done. And we're here to help you as Caribbean Export. So if there is anything at all you would like us to continue working on, please let us know. We can't promise that we'll do it all, but we definitely are always looking for ways that we can help Caribbean businesses grow. All right, thanks again, everyone. Please have a productive rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.